Yeah,
Right. Yeah. He was just wondering what's the crimes up there that people are doing.
That's the stuff right
Right.
there.
Yes. Yeah.
Just smoke 'em if you got 'em. Smoke 'em if you got 'em.
you want to get the music lane?
Yeah. And so you're up there like.
Do. Anyways, how you doing, Casey? I don't know if Bowman will be on because daylight savings and all that.
Well, fuck him.
I don't think he knows that we went forward.
Do they not do that in Cambodia?
I think we're the only ones that do it. I'm not 100% sure.
I don't think that's accurate. I think other people do it too.
Well, I heard that some of them already stopped doing it.
We should stop doing it, but
At some point, I hope we do it.
so do I. So do I. Oh, there it goes.
It's showing live now.
Yeah, you're good. It was just my YouTube was catching up.
All right, it's showing Roadcaster on there. So as soon as he populates, I'll move him over and we can go.
Cool.
With him, at least.
How you doing today, buddy?
I'm doing good. I'm really tired.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dude, I feel that.
I went to bed at midnight. I don't know what time you went to bed. Like 5 in the morning? 6?
7:30.
7:30? Okay.
7:30ish. Yeah.
That's not too bad.
That sounds about right.
Yeah, I went to bed at midnight and then woke up at 5:30, I believe, and it
Kick my butt.
entirely. But yeah, so all week I've been in training and learning ART, aggression replacement training.
Ooh, that sounds exciting.
I mean, so far it is. I've learned a lot, I think.
About what is it exactly?
Replacing your aggression, and it's the underlying feelings of anger and all that, what
so
it does.
It's like anger management.
Yeah, essentially. Management for the anger.
Why don't you just call it that?
Because there's different names and different techniques that you use for it. So it's one of those things, you know.
Seems kind of sus.
It does. But did
you feel educated now?
I do feel pretty educated.
Number 2.
About about it, and I feel like it's gonna help me hopefully be better than, my angry self. Mind you, I like being my angry self.
Wait, so was this like one of those court mandated classes you had to go to, or
Yeah. The court said, "Hey, you got to teach these kids this." It wasn't my anger this time.
This conveniently helps you.
I'm hoping it helps me. I mean, I have a lot of anger, and you guys know this. And my hand, if you actually look at it, it does weird things. Like I have things popping, and
many walls have been damaged because of your hand.
If I touch the edge of a table right now, I can feel it up into my arm because I messed it up that bad, apparently.
Nice.
But I'm working on my anger, and hopefully this helps.
There you go. I mean, we'll see. If not, at least you can teach the kids.
Yeah, how to be angry. Yeah. I mean, not be angry.
Yeah, exactly. Anarchy.
Yeah, because it goes over skill streaming and the different skills you can use to, how to have a conversation, how to start a conversation, how to ask a question. All skills that they should know how to ask, but they don't or do, essentially. What?
Oh, you're black on black on black.
Oh yeah, I'm just a floating head.
You look like a floating head.
I have this back here. That's there. That should.
Kevin the floating head in the corner.
You should be able to see this, right? No.
I don't know. You can switch it over and look on the TV, but you look like a floating head.
I mean,
really
I can't see it on there.
It was hilarious.
Yeah. I'm a floating head.
Yeah.
Listen, I'll put it back on you and put on my jersey. It's hot in here, man.
I know
what am I supposed to do?
It is toasty in here. I'll give you that. Oh.
That's why I took it off in the first place.
Well, at least the fans are going.
What have you been up to this week?
Just getting through it, man. Just getting through it. I feel drained. I feel exhausted.
Right? Not enough
I
sleep.
mean, well, it was
Always staying up late.
well, but like Tuesday was legitimately like the first day off I've had in like 2 weeks
Fair.
because of everything that happened. So it's like
Oh yeah.
fuck, dude. I just like Tuesday. I legitimately like after we left here, went home, went to bed, woke up at like 3, played game with Anthony until like 9, went right back to bed. I was like done. Like I
6 hours awake. I'm done.
like I had a list of things I wanted to get done, didn't do them. Just said fuck it. Like I'm going back to bed.
I mean, that's fair. It's these last couple days for you have been rough for sure.
So yeah, I need a vacation. That's what I need.
Is that your phone just vibrating away?
No,
No, it must be somebody else's.
unless I'm that popular and I'm getting text messages.
Maybe. I don't
Booze.
know. Are you that popular? You think you're that
Booze
popular?
has magically appeared.
Yeah, Shazam.
How you doing?
Booze. We love booze.
Booze.
Oh, booze. Anyways, what have how's the issue that was a bit an issue? We haven't really talked on it yet.
It's good now.
Okay,
It's just a matter of getting through it.
Okay, so it's squarish.
So yeah, I mean it's just gonna be time,
Yeah.
and they say the first 3 to 6 months is like the best recovery, and then after that, pretty much anything is probably gonna be a while. But
All right.
after she gets physical therapy and stuff, she should be fine.
Fair.
So that starts on Tuesday, actually.
Hey, you found any more information?
Hmm?
We can talk about it later if you want.
Not yet. Just waiting.
You watching a little kid play basketball on TV?
I don't know. It was.
It just
odd.
came on TV.
No. Commercials these days are getting really weird.
Listen, you're not wrong. I've been on YouTube and I'm watching some stuff and some things populate for some apps that aren't actually for that app. It throws me off. You know what I'm talking about too.
It's almost like the Japanese commercials.
Kind of, but
Where it's like it's extremely random, and then all of a sudden it's like, this is the product, and you're like, what? What did that commercial have to do
it
with the
doesn't show the
product?
product at all. It's an app. It just says the app's name on it, and there's like a girl and her bean and all that, and it's throwing me off. Like it keeps populating everywhere. And I'm like, what are people
It's
watching?
on YouTube.
Yeah, it just populates.
You sure it's on the different tube?
It's either it's either YouTube, Instagram, or Facebook. I cycle through those sometimes to see what's going on. But yeah, and then Christian, he's gonna get on here at some point.
Yeah, I wonder where Josephus is. Haven't seen him yet.
I mean, he's probably off and about. He probably has the same issue we have. It's daylight savings, and we jumped forward an hour, so we all feel drained.
They observe daylight savings in South Carolina.
Yeah, that's why I said he's probably not realizing what time it is.
Fair.
I mean, that's what I would think at
What
least.
is it Arizona's the only one that doesn't?
No, there's like 3 states that don't observe it,
Okay.
and then of those 3 states, I think the newest one was Arizona.
I thought Arizona's the one that's been like not observing it forever.
Is that the one?
Yeah. Arizona's on its own like fuck you schedule.
Probably. I like Arizona doing that. They got the best kind of schedule.
Damn.
But I mean, yes. I get it.
Sorry.
I also stayed up because I lost track of time as well because I was goofing around and making another wallet.
Oh.
I kind of like this one, but at the same time, I'm unsure about it. Like, I put cash in there, it folds up on itself, cards up the top. I have to pull them out so they stick a little bit. So I'm thinking about putting in like a pull tab.
Yeah.
But so far, I like it. I think this part needs to be a little bit longer. I need to bring it down a little bit more.
Do you want some tequila?
Make it to like right here.
Gotcha.
I'm not 100% sure though.
Okay.
And then I was gonna do her stamp on there maybe. I think the 3-inch one will work.
It should fit on there.
Yeah,
Right?
I think so.
How wide is that?
I think it's just there on the width because
So,
the
like-
width is like almost 1.75 on that stamp.
Oh, so standing it up and down, it should be.
Yeah, I think it should be fine.
That'd be kind of cool.
So, I mean, well, yeah, up and down. So have our logo on there. And
I
then
like it. I
maybe
like it.
make this flat part a little longer.
Yeah, it seems a little short.
Yeah, I wasn't paying attention. I didn't measure it properly, and then
come on.
it took me like 3 times because I made an extra small version of this that was the size of the cards, and it only fit 1 card. It couldn't fit cash, so I had to pull out cash and then like measure the cash next to it, and then cut it. Hey, you know, out of everything I've done, this is the
That's-
hardest.
I mean-
and I stayed up with you a couple different times to do this fucking bullshit around here, but I got it done with you.
Hey, it was fun.
And
though.
Lane.
It was fun.
We stayed with Lane for a minute.
Yeah.
Well, I stayed with Lane for a minute to do that. Now, what's going to happen is you and Lane are going to figure out that back while I take a break.
No. You got to be here for all the projects. Oh,
My ears are. Oh, there we go.
Hey, there you go.
You were muted.
No, we're gonna figure out that back while you're in the ceiling, dropping a new phone line for us.
No, never. Ain't doing that. Too hard. Too much work.
You think you're getting out of that? You're crazy.
So tired. So tired. Oh, I hurt myself. Oh, my leg.
So did we?
Listen, we got the soundboard back. You're on your own.
I'm gonna weld a metal cage around that thing.
No, we'll figure it out.
So, do we have a Cameron?
I don't have a Cameron in the chat yet, and I think he doesn't realize what time it is.
He didn't even.
Oh, he
respond.
just hit us up. Got it.
Oh, did he?
Oh.
3 minutes ago.
Oh,
So we have a Cameron.
I haven't looked at that.
We
That's
also
fine.
have a Christian,
Yes, we do. He's right next to you.
straight out of the chat.
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
All right. So I'm not too close, not too
No.
far.
And
All
finally
right.
get to meet you in person.
Yeah.
How's it going?
And then off to my right over here is my wife Jessica, and we stopped in briefly last year after we ate at the restaurant. What's that restaurant called? It was really
Cigar.
good.
Sierra.
Yeah, I thought it was pretty good. And then
They do a good job.
yeah, they do. Yeah, it was solid. Yeah, I thought it was pretty good. And then I didn't come empty-handed. I will say that. Hold on. Let me.
He's
So,
got goodies.
Goodies are always
Oh,
good.
Gifts are always good.
Did you bring me my plug?
Brought in a little Elijah Craig 18.
Oh, he was just talking about. He just picked one of those up. I
Did
haven't
you?
had it.
Somebody left it in one of the aisles at the Rayleigh's down by my house.
Yeah.
And I saw it. I'm like, this dumb son of a bitch. And I picked it up. I'm like, perfect. 200.
Yeah. Yeah.
Solid.
Yeah.
It was
that's-
good.
Yeah, that's about what I got it for. And then, so if you already have one, then maybe I shouldn't, because one of these I was going to leave as a gift. That's a double-double, Woodford double-double.
I've been staring at posts of that for the last 3 weeks.
Yeah.
What's the one we have that's in that bottle shape?
We have it's
it the
no, we have the
127?
124/7
Yeah,
from
yeah.
2 years ago.
Okay. Same bottle.
Hey Tony, would you do me a favor? Yes. Would you close that curtain behind you? I certainly will. Thank you. That's my fault.
And I brought these 5 of them because I thought it was going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. But she's not going to smoke a cigar. She's going to drink. And
So
and there's 5 different ones, and I thought you'd take a look at them.
Okay.
All between 93 and 95 points, and I am going to lean on you. The difference in these, like they're all La Aroma de Cuba, and there's different there's a Reserva, and
Let's see
I
what
have
you got.
not cracked that open yet.
No worries. Jessica, if you want to jump in, you are welcome to this seat.
Yeah, maybe we can. If
She needs
is
some more
Cam on?
booze.
Okay, so he just hit us up in the chat. He's
He-
probably just getting in right now.
I haven't
Okay,
seen
he's
him
the
yet.
one Jess I was telling you about that lives in Cambodia.
Allegedly.
And he has some allegedly, right? But he has some unbelievable stories all the time, and I figure something will come up.
Cam is the opposite of Mr. Magoo. Like if he could be hurt doing a thing, he was hurt doing a thing, and he has found himself in just some of the craziest situations you can possibly imagine.
Are you implying that Cam is Mirrorverse Magoo?
Yes.
Cam is mirror versus Magoo.
That's a scary thought.
I mean, as long as I've known him, like ends up sitting at the head table of a film festival with Morgan Freeman. Also, just equally as likely to get slapped in the face with a mag light on the way home from the bars. Like that actually happened.
Yeah.
He showed up and his nose is like 3 different directions.
He probably deserved it though.
Didn't know the guys. Never came across the guys before, to my knowledge. Yeah, just everything you can imagine someone getting to. In fact, Tony, he would fit perfectly into your group.
I can get hurt.
Anyway, how's your guys' flight in?
Yeah, it was solid. No issues coming in. It was today was just went tubing, went and got equipment, linked up with Tony today, got settled in. I could not believe how warm it is here.
I just took my
Like
jacket. I was just
we
like,
went tubing and she literally had a sports bra on and was like,
This is that time of year. So it had to be in the 50s. It was almost 70 in Carson City today.
it's 52.
And we're supposed to get 20 to 30 inches starting Wednesday.
yeah.
Yeah.
So it
The
will.
fuck
Right
we
when
are.
leave.
Casey, I'm going to let you take a look at these because I don't know them.
I did bring in some other stuff as well.
Yeah.
So back there we have George T. Stag,
Oh, he's got Big Daddy Stag.
and we got Stag.
So they make fun of me
24D?
because it's so high proof. I literally feel like it's burning my throat. Like my esophagus loses.
And we just sip on it.
Where the-
That was from Christy Barefoot.
oh,
Yeah, that was the gift we got. So Barefoot, we have a friend of ours that's of the Barefoot wine legacy,
Okay.
and she works for what she does sell
I can't remember. It's like-
Zasarak? No, she sells wine, but whoever Barefoot falls under, she came for New Year's one time and just brought a 5-pack of Cubans. I was like, "Here you go for hosting," and I was like, "Wow, thanks." And so I just kept them in my little humidor for the last. That was about 3-4 years ago, right? So those are probably around 20s, 19.
Okay, got some good
or
age on 'em.
2020, yeah. So, and I've never broken that. I think there's a humidifier pack in there. I'm sure it's old, but
I thought you were
They
the
stay-
ones from Brazil.
In the
No, I didn't
sealed
bring those,
bags, they
no.
stay pretty well.
yeah.
Usually.
So, real quick, the whiskey game. The middle is a mystery whiskey out of our many, many samples. That's number 2. Number 1 is the Rayleigh's Russell's Reserve pick. Did you really?
No.
Would be funny.
So, whiskey 1 is the Russell's Reserve pick, and whiskey 3 is the new Smoke Eye Hill Barrel Proof I picked up.
Oh, nice. That stuff's good.
Yeah.
So from left to
hot?
right.
So there's numbers under the spots.
So the handle is going to be 1.
Oh,
So yours are backwards from.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
okay. Say it one more time. This one.
So that's the Russell's Reserve pick.
Yep.
From one of the Rayleighs that does a good job down here.
Okay.
The middle we don't know, and the last one is the Smoke Eye Hill Barrel Proof over there. So that's going to be about 107 proof, I think.
Yeah, I've got that Russell's at home, but it's not a barrel pick. I tried to find the 13. I haven't been able to find it.
Yeah.
Find it, and then
The 13, the 15, they're both phenomenal.
yeah.
The 24, the Old Forester 1924, which is their 10-year,
Yep.
came out a couple weeks back. Mm-hmm. And then what else have I seen that's been released? The Jack 14-year,
Yep.
which they haven't released since the 70s.
Really? Wow.
But we haven't seen it in this market at
Yeah.
all yet.
And then I sent you the what was it called
The
again?
Blue Note.
Texas.
The Blue Note
Oh.
finished in French oak.
So I got them the Blue Note. It's that Crossroads one that I went through in like 2 weeks, and so Blue Note usually has pretty high proof. This one I think is right around 50 to 51% alcohol. So,
Yeah, I think it was 100.
and man, that's good. I really like that's good stuff. It's just easy drinking, and it'll go. It's good food bourbon as well. And then, yeah, like if you guys were in Texas, I would do that tasting of all the Calumet vineyard or Calumet. What are they called? The horse farm. Because I've got the small batch, the 8, the 10, the 15, and the 16.
Okay.
And I would have lined them all out for you, but I'm sipping them. They're disappearing, so they're gonna be gone by the time you guys get there. But yeah,
Not if
This-
we leave right now.
I know they almost came to that. What was it?
tasting?
That tasting
The Pappy tasting.
Pappy tasting. They were they almost
John, that
came
we have
in
one
for.
of those, or at least some, in the container, whatever that my mom has from the 60s.
Yeah, I'll have to send you a picture of it. So her mom was a VA nurse in Oklahoma. She, grew up in outside, Fort Sill, Lawton, and her mom was at the VA hospital in like 1988. Got a gift, a retirement gift of a 1979 Pappy.
Like
It's
one
a
of the old
Pappy
decanters.
Van Winkle, it's one of those.
Ceramic.
Yeah.
Ceramic decanters. It's like
Still
a collector's
full and
item, and it's still in there. It's still sealed. There's nothing wrong with the decanter, but that's a 1979.
Yeah.
Ooh.
And there's probably about half of it left. But
Yeah,
she just gave it to me because she doesn't drink, and I was like, all right.
But darn.
But what she also gave me is because her dad was MP and was personal bodyguard for Norman Schwarzkopf during the Gulf War. Kevin, you know who that is, right?
I know who
Yeah.
Norman Schwarzkopf is.
Norman Schwarzkopf.
He's barely old enough to
and
remember.
so he was just plucked
Okay,
out
right,
of a
wow.
unit to go be personal bodyguard driver for General
Storm and
Schwarzkopf.
Norman?
Storm and Norman. And he had a sign when he left the unit, got a signed plaque of all the staff plus General Schwarzkopf, and he passed away from COVID. I think I told you about that. He had a real bad bout with COVID in 2021 and passed away. And her mom has been going through stuff and gave me like a signed football of Barry Switzer, gave me this plaque of him, but also a signed picture with, it was General Schwarzkopf and Colin Powell together. And then gave me that, and then the 1979 Pappy. What's it? So back then it wasn't it was a Van Winkle, like Family Reserve or something. It was a little bit different nomenclature, but I have not cracked it, and I'm like, first of all, I have to have this with somebody that would appreciate it.
So in '79, the Van Winkle family still owned the distillery.
Yep.
So they didn't put Pappy's name on it, I don't think yet. I think
Yeah.
it was the family name still.
Yeah. So it's just a Van Winkle, like Reserve or something. I've got a picture of it. Maybe I could dig it up while we're on here, but so I'm kind of a wuss when it comes to cigars as well. So I have to do a V cut, or else it just tears up my mouth. I know. Like, so if I have a regular cut, I know he's looking at
We
me.
won't make
Kevin's
fun of you too
looking at me.
bad.
No,
It's,
and
it's
I
okay.
have
No judgment will be verbalized.
the Stag Junior with it. Like, I'm just like,
We're just gonna stare at you at this point.
We're just gonna sit over here. We're not gonna say nothing.
yeah. But this,
Loser.
Yep. Listen, Casey's had a shit talking group in the shop the whole weekend.
Oh, yeah?
He's
Oh,
well
yeah.
practiced
Yeah,
at this
don't-
point. He's well warmed up.
It was.
Was it that good? I wish I could have came up for that.
I mean, spending the weekend convincing people that James is James Cotton from the Supersonics was pretty
You
funny.
did not do that.
Oh, the whole time to
Oh.
random people.
Legitimately.
He was legitimately grabbing whiskey, and he's like, "Oh no, this is on the Supersonics tab," and the random group would be like, "What?" Yeah.
And then I found a picture of James Cotton. Honestly, the resemblance is kind of uncanny.
you like that cutter? Big gauge cutter?
Yeah, that's nice.
Yeah.
Is that a Lotus?
Yeah, you got it. Yep, you knew it. It's a Lotus.
They do a good job.
And then
One of my favorite cutters was a Lotus. It broke. I sent it in. Here's the bad part about Lotus: their customer service is terrible.
Mm-hmm.
They're like, it has a lifetime warranty. If we ever get it back to you.
Non-existent.
I
if we
never
ever
saw
get
it
back to
again.
you.
Yeah. I
That was
imagine,
4 years ago.
Yeah, I imagine in about 6 more years it'll show up.
Maybe if you're lucky.
Just like, oh, sorry. Yeah, actually, they'll just send back the broken one.
Yeah.
Like, we replaced it.
Yeah.
Oh, I found out why my veteran Epic Day Pass never arrived, by the way, and I was supposed to get a card. The address in the unit was pulled in from an old Vail profile I had, so it was my apartment in Irving that I lived in up until 2005, so I never saw it, so I'll just have to go to a desk because I get a season pass.
Yeah.
With that veteran discount for like, dude, it's like $159 for the whole season.
What you,
Do you
what
want to
don't
take one of
know?
my comps with you just in case?
No, No. I mean, I've got the profiles in there. They'll just have to reprint it.
What you don't know is you've already had about 10 days on the mountain.
Yeah.
Right. That's what I want to know. Is there been any?
See, I messed
Someone's
up.
like, I could be this guy.
Yeah, I messed up. I got the pass. Have
Yeah.
yet to hit the mountain because I decided to get a puppy. So I've been spending majority of my time with this puppy, and he's kind of running me ragged, and I'm running him ragged.
Just get
So
one
it's
of
about the
those
same.
baby dog carriers. Put them on your chest. And just
Listen,
snowboard
I
them with them on your
should.
chest.
That puppy's going to be the hook for the golf content.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
gonna bring him along too.
Speaking of golf content, I know you guys will like this. Brought 5 of these for you guys to share with people. So they look like packs of cigarettes, right?
Yeah.
There is a friend of mine. His name, he might be watching. I don't know. I got to look and see. But he's a cousin of mine from Nebraska, and he teamed up with some company and started producing these. These are these high-end bamboo teas. They're called bird darts, which is actually another name for bird shit, right?
Yeah.
But they also has a warning label like it is for smoking on it, right?
Yeah.
And so he is now producing these things. He's got a manufacturer, and he's doing about 8 to 10K in these per month. And so he's considering leaving his regular job for this. But I was like, hey, a couple of my friends out in Tahoe are big golfers. You can just give them away. And he gave me a box of them, and he said, hey, just take him out there. But he's got this birddarts.com, and I don't know, it's just taken off. I don't know what it was that was his big breakout that got a bunch of attention for it, but it's enough that that one room downstairs in his basement, it's just full of inventory, and it's just turning over. Like, he's turning over that whole room within like a month. So he is actually sending that out quite a bit, but he's also a big golfer. I only golf a few times a year. Well, it's been a little while, but my 8-year-old is now getting into it, so I think that's probably going to be my trigger to get back into it even more, would be golfing. So when he picks it up, so yeah, I'll just leave them with you. Whoever you want, just give them away as little gifts and stuff. And
I will use them.
yeah, and and you have to whack the shit out of them to break them.
Yeah.
Like
Challenge accepted,
Yeah.
sir.
I mean, he drives the ball about 350 yards
on a shitty day.
on a shitty day, right? And yeah.
We're always making jokes at him, hitting satellites.
Yeah, every time we play around, we have to call NORAD, let him know that.
So have you guys tried the mystery one in the middle?
Not yet.
I've smelled it.
No.
I haven't tried it yet.
Because I've only done 1 and 3, and I really like 3.
Isn't 3?
That stuff right
So
over there.
3 came in 2 years in a row in Minnick's top like 12.
Was that the 100 proof?
No, it's the barrel proof.
Oh, okay.
But it drinks really well.
Yeah.
And it's not amazingly high proof, I don't think, but it drinks really well. I'm not ready to drink 2 yet.
Why not?
I'm just not.
What's wrong with 2?
I'm afraid it's Ambarana.
It's not. We don't have any Ambarana in there, and how would you pick that one right away? I mean, you do have that luck, but
Well, because I've been
3's really good.
Because I was in here Wednesday and Thursday by myself. So what I did was I poured out every sample and just replaced it with
All Ambarana. Hey, Cameron texted us, but he never.
yeah, I haven't seen him populate in the chat or anything yet.
I'll text him real fast.
He's probably sleeping again.
Really?
Fortaleza? Oh, Fortaleza's
Fortaleza
by
is the shit.
many,
That's a
many
strong
people
statement.
considered the best tequila in the world.
In that, hands down.
I mean, just straight chilled. That's key.
Yeah. Oh, that's chilled?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, we keep it in the fridge.
Okay.
So good.
Did you give her the G4 too?
Yeah.
No, just the Fortaleza.
Oh, okay.
So instead of betting $10, $15 per round on roulette,
It's
she
gonna
has
be
a few
hot.
more of those. It's gonna be 25.
right.
30.
Yeah. Hey, go.
She hits every time. Everybody makes fun of people who play roulette. It's a mindless game. She hits every. I've never
The
seen her
best
walk
part
out
is
negative.
it's not a mindless game. Like if you're paying attention to the board and what's hitting, and watch the dealers have a problem where they let it go at a specific section, and every time they just section it.
Even though they're trained not to.
Yes, they're
all
trained not
dealers
to.
have habits.
And they're supposed to switch out the balls because they have a bigger ball and a smaller one. They don't switch out the balls usually.
Yeah.
I did not know that. Did you know that? There's 2 different sizes. I didn't know
Yeah.
that.
We go old school. We just put the
I-
Kevin is
logo
our
on.
ex-casino surveillance guy.
Yeah, for this
Yeah.
casino.
Oh, for this. Oh, I
Yeah.
didn't realize it was this casino.
Yeah, this
Okay.
exact one. I love this place.
2 different. That changes the physics in my mind.
Yeah, so
That's the whole point.
It's supposed to change the speed and the rotations around.
Again, because dealers get habits, right?
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
the force they throw the ball is the same.
Yeah.
They'll randomly spot numbers on the board as it's going around. Will be like they do things subconsciously. They don't realize they're doing. So the
Really?
casino introduces mechanisms to fight that.
I didn't know that.
Yeah,
I just play 26,
26, 29. Sometimes you play 11 because that was your number in soccer.
That's all I played yesterday.
And then 13 because you kind of like Taylor Swift. But.
yeah, somebody has to here.
You're
Right.
forgiven.
And then I'll use. I'm too much of a. I rarely put all my money on a number. I usually am like on a corner. I'll play that corner that
Yeah, you
includes
doing
26,
the
29,
basket
30.
and all that. Those.
And then sometimes I'll throw some down on a color and stuff. So I never. But she hit
00.
multiple times. $35 on 29 last night. And on the same hand had split 26 and 29, so it's $40 of a hit. And I'm like, what the? And I was like, it's uncanny. But it's like it was in where else in foreign countries have we hit? And Belize, were we in
Turks
Turks?
and Caicos. Because I actually thought, oh, they were,
Mexico.
like, escorting us out.
Yeah, and so they escorted us out of there because they thought,
Oh,
well,
Puerto Rico.
Puerto Rico, and she hit. Never have I seen her walk out negative. You've walked out of negative, up in Oklahoma a couple times, but like not like down much, like 100 or 200, or she's 1,000 positive. It's unbelievable. And I remember when we first met, and we went to Vegas for her 30th birthday, and I had been a little while since I had gambled, and I walked in, and I'm like, "You're gonna play roulette?" I was like, because the reputation of it, I'm like, rolls in, hits 3 of the first 4 times. I'm like, what is going? And we had just been dating for,
Like a month?
well, a little longer now, 4 months. And so she was turning 30, and I was like, I don't know if I can roll in this circle. And she is, and she just hits and big dollars, and then just pays for the rest of the trip. And I'm like, God, this is unbelievable. And then I watched it happen again, and then we went to Oklahoma to visit your family, and then you hit again there, and I was like, oh, so there's actually some strategy.
Just
to
gotta
this.
up your game.
I just
Yeah.
won my
Yeah.
birthday, Black 29.
Yeah, but I've never seen anybody.
I try to play my birthday. I always lose.
Yeah,
I think because it's a bad luck number.
Yeah.
The 4th for the Chinese.
yeah,
Yep.
I don't know. I just play red and black. I don't.
yeah.
Yeah, just even money.
50-50.
But you know what? Last night we were looking at it, and it just something occurred to me, because when you have 36 numbers and you got a 0 and a 00, and they only pay 36 to 1, but there's 38.
37.
And I'm like, you're getting screwed by the house. It should be 38 to
The-
1 payout.
The house always has the edge, and they're trying to keep an edge on you guys.
36 to 1, but there's
Yeah.
2 extra chances. for
There's
us to
some
lose.
some tables out there now with 000.
Yeah, 000.
Yeah.
What?
Oh yeah.
God,
And then you can bet all 3 if you want.
Early on, we were at a table that hit 0 or 00 3 times in a row, and I was
Like I said, it's that thing. They get in a habit and they just section it.
You always got to put a chip on 00.
You think?
Oh yeah.
All right. So even when you're betting colors, you put one on a.
Oh, of course.
Okay.
Of course.
Or at least split it.
Because then I'm staying flush, and then when it hits, boom, I come up and I'm done.
Yeah.
I don't know that you should be giving a winner strategy, Casey.
Why not?
Feels-
Fuck the house.
Feels like a mistake.
All right.
Fuck that.
Fuck the house.
Everybody has a strategy.
I'm trying to let my people win. Okay.
Everybody thinks their strategy works too, which is funny because the house usually always has the edge until you learn how to count and use proper money management.
Yeah, they make their money on slot machines. Fuck them.
I mean, yeah.
Well, she hits slots fairly often too. but-
Harvey's used to pay his bills. The entire operation
On nickel slots.
was paid for by nickel slots.
Yeah.
Wow.
Tony's all, what? Yeah. He used to tell. Well, this is. I mean, you're talking about the 70s and 80s.
If you
He used
adjust
to-
for inflation, that's the quarter slot now.
He used to
okay?
tell people, when people would actually talk to him about his business, he used to tell people, listen, I pay for everything on nickel slots. Everything else is gravy.
Can you really win at the airport? Because I lost $40.
There was one guy that got off the plane and won a couple million. 10 mil.
I've won at the airport, but not getting on a plane, just taking someone to the airport.
Yeah, that's a
So-
win in its own.
You
Don't have to
won
see
that
him for a
one
while.
time
That was
in the
gas money.
airport leaving Vegas,
Yeah.
and you just threw down. You said you threw down $30 on 29. Just you were about to board, and then rolls out of there with $930 or
Vegas.
whatever.
Yeah,
that gives
see?
you.
There you
The
go.
only casino with tables, the only airport with tables in it.
You go through all that for $7 million?
Yeah, that's right. Reno had machine. You're right.
Yeah.
I put in at the Wheel of Fortune one.
Yeah.
Because they were like telling my son.
That's
to
how they
move
get you.
away because
Yeah.
he was too young.
The 8-year-old had to stand back behind this one line, and they were very like right here. Like if he put his toe
Oh, yeah,
over it,
the
and they
toe
were
on
like,
it.
Please move back. And so he's like, he's standing there.
He said she'll grow.
Yeah.
It's not entirely their fault. The NGC plays by its own rules.
Yeah. Yeah.
But don't make slot machines so appealing to kids.
God, it's such a kid game.
Well, listen, you got to get your
There's
future
a
market somewhere.
Flintstones machine floating around. Come on.
Well, you
What-
gotta think about it. So they're playing with cartoons that we used to watch as we were kids. So it draws us in more. So we go play, and then the sounds and the bells, it all just draws us in. And then they have a certain flow in casinos that they want you to go because you get more eyes on more machines. People see them, want to
Yeah.
play more.
Yeah. Didn't think about that.
Except for this casino.
Well, this casino has some problems. I mean, they don't have problems. This casino's perfectly fine.
Okay. Who's paying you?
Sounds like how I speak about Vale.
Hey, you're not
paying you
wrong.
guys? What's going on here?
Listen, I spent 10 years in surveillance here, and I am glad to be out of surveillance. I hated being stuck inside, and like I thought it was a good gig, and then I realized I kept just getting screwed over by management, of course.
Were you the kind of surveillance you'd catch like card counters?
I
and
did
stuff
all
like-
that. I installed cameras. I watched card counters. I catch dice cheats. Anybody running a scam on the wheel.
How do you cheat at dice?
There's different ways, but like it's a lot harder now.
There's a few ways.
Is there?
Yeah.
Like the diamonds on the backboard of
Sure.
the table.
Yeah.
Those are meant to, when the dice hit the back, it sends them flying so they don't, what's it called? Helicopter or there's another one. It's setting the dice and you just toss it and it bounces off the board and just lands on its number.
Right.
There's different ways to do it.
Okay. Holy crap! I'm actually learning a lot about.
Casino surveillance is like working in a bank. The first thing they do is teach you how to cheat every game.
Right. And I work for a bank,
And then I'm permanently banned from that casino and any of its sister properties.
but I am in compliance and risk though, so I'm the anti-cheat.
Yeah,
We
essentially.
catch the
And that's basically what mine was. I catch the guys who
Yeah.
were cheating.
right.
And then
Yeah.
I watch everything else, fights and all
I
that.
think the funniest part about counting cards, most card counters don't think they got caught. Turns out they got caught. They just weren't doing it well enough for the casino to care.
Usually,
Yeah.
yeah. If you're playing like $5 and going up by like to like 10, 15, I don't care. It's when you start playing a couple hundred and it becomes noticeable, and then you have stacks in front of you. Then it's like,
Well,
hey,
but even
stop it.
then, if you don't have strategy or cash management or your counts, below 80%,
Yeah.
the casino still has the edge.
You're literally right. It's actually not 80 either. It's like they want 90%.
Yeah.
Especially here, and I'm like, why? You're losing money that you don't have at this point.
Isn't blackjack though the only game that the player is like the natural odds are like 51-49?
No.
Isn't that the only one? where
No, you
have-
can get it down to that with counting and basic strategy
Yeah.
and money management, but the house always has the edge still.
So on a proper 3-2 game,
Yeah.
if you're doing everything right and your
Right.
count is perfect,
Yeah.
and you are varying your bets the way the count is designed for you to vary your bets,
Yep.
you have a 2% edge. That's the best you can do.
Okay.
And the funny part is counting's extremely easy.
Oh yeah, counting's incredibly easy.
And like they got a couple different counts, like you got the Wong halves and all that, but the high low is extremely easy. and
Well,
it's the
even
basic count.
Red Sevens is extremely
But
easy.
Red 7 is perfect for shoes.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
on a shoe game.
I taught one of my law school classes Red Sevens.
Yeah.
Like at the behest of the professor.
Because there's only a slight difference. And even then,
Yeah.
if you teach it right, you're only supposed to count the Red 7s.
Yeah.
But really, you switch it and you just count every other
Every other-
7.
yeah, yeah.
And it evens it out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Am I allowed to pour my own drink?
Absolutely.
Well, you know, it's weird in Texas, right? You can go to a place where they pay, the establishment pays the extra liquor license to bring in, like, for a corkage fee or whatever, but
Yeah.
you can't pour it yourself in some locations. And I was like, well, I know we're in Nevada, but maybe liquor is different, that you can't pour it yourself unless you are one of the establishment, like, owners or staff members.
Technically, the only time it's disrespectful to pour your own drink is in Japanese culture.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's true. Yeah. In Japan.
Like Lane being the host, he would have to pour your drink for you.
I text Cameron,
Yeah, still nothing.
never texts me back.
Fuck that guy.
He's read the text though.
So what time is it there then? It's
So-
tomorrow at
yeah, it's going on
Like-
noon.
noon.
Yeah.
Now, do they observe daylight savings?
That's what we
Oh
were
God, I
wondering.
don't know.
That's the only thing I don't know.
So
Yeah.
it might actually be a different time there now.
Because we were kind of curious
He
about
might
that.
he might be like, have you guys even started? He might think we start in 13
He
minutes.
said got it.
yeah, but
Oh, yeah. He's he's about a hour late almost.
He's a character, just like he was a fighter for a while. He was club promoter. Like what?
You try number 2?
I did.
yeah.
Number 2's got a
I
little
have not
bite to
tried
it.
them.
I didn't
Really, I
notice
get
it.
almost no proof on number 2.
Really?
Yeah.
Same.
There's a little bite to it.
Nah, I got nothing.
Y'all are broken.
Yeah.
Y'all,
Say that again.
y'all are broken.
Listen, I got to the 164 proof, and it was like, there's
Better.
the bite, and then it went away.
164 proof.
Yeah, they're down at Minden Meat and Deli. They had that rare character deal going on where they tested all of them for him introducing his daughter and son's bottles that he made for him.
Oh,
The Athena and Athens.
yeah, Athens and Athena.
Athens and Athena. I said it right. Both names can go either way. Man. But they had a bottle there in the back, and it was 164 proof. And I tell you what, it was good, but it was spicy. Yeah.
Well, I had that Coy Hill one year.
I would definitely
At 153, and it was incredible.
Right? Those high proofs are amazing.
Yeah.
Especially once you get used to the bite, then it's just perfect. It's like icing on a cake. It's like, oh,
168. I'd have no.
you'd be okay.
Where's that?
My uvula would burn off.
Where's that
You don't
Jack
need it.
Daniels rye?
Number
It's
three.
over on the table.
Yeah, you should pour that for Chris.
Do you guys want me to come over and you want some?
I'm not done yet. So,
They got to finish one
and I'm
first.
Yeah,
still
hang
trying to
on.
figure out
I
two.
finished number 1. It was really good.
But I think I just ruined number 2 with number 3.
Number 3 is phenomenal.
Yeah.
It
And I
is.
know where there's more of it.
What is it?
It's the Smoke I Hill Barrel Proof.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
That's the one you got at the
Total Wine?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Nice.
We'll have
Casey,
to
what
get the
did
big
you-
boys out
What do you
eventually.
think of those Cubans? Are you a fan of those, or have you ever had them? Or
These?
yeah,
These aren't Cubans.
the ones out of the pack.
The La Aroma de Cubas.
They're Cuban
Yeah.
seeds.
They're
but
Cuban seeds, but they're grown in the Dominican Republic. They're very
know
good.
that.
They're very good.
they're
though.
good. They're a
Yeah.
good cigar.
Yeah, they're very good. Don't get me wrong. The Mia Moore is probably the best La Aroma they make.
Really? Mm-hmm. Okay.
Well,
I actually didn't know they were grown in Dominican.
Yeah, so a lot of the
didn't know that.
companies took their old seeds from
Yeah.
from Cuba and just
Okay.
started growing them in there. They were one of them, and then they kept the Cuba part there in the end of the name.
So
yeah,
they're
it's,
allowed
it's
to
all
because
it's
of
all
the
Cuban
seeds.
seed. It's really good.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh,
I didn't know that. Well, what's that? Does-
We do. It's Big Ash. Is it Big Ash Pod on Insta?
Big Ash Pod, yeah.
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 I thought you were following us already, or you don't do
I
socials.
don't. No.
No.
I'm only on the Twatter
The
and,
Twatter, yeah.
and
That's Twix. Thank you very much.
the Twits.
Twix. I like Twix. That's pretty good, actually.
I twit with some twats, and then
You on Twix? I'm on Twix.
Twix sounds good
and
right now.
then
I
LinkedIn. And,
text Cameron to remind. I despise LinkedIn.
yeah.
It's like the worst built platform.
I
ever.
also have it, and it's
I deleted mine at some point. I was like, I just can't do it.
I don't update it. I just like every once in a while it says something and I look at it and go, huh, why did they just add me?
It's always like these people want to connect with you. And I'm
Apparently,
like,
it's become a
I don't
dating
wanna.
platform too,
Has it?
Wow. What?
on accident. But yeah,
It's corporatebench.com.
She gets because she's in head of people and recruiting. So she'll get a lot of company, guys that run organizations like, well, if we could meet for a coffee and we could talk about your needs, I might have some people, or whatever.
That's when you say hard pass.
Yeah. Hard no.
It's a hard no.
I had one of the girls from North Star who moved on. She was in marketing. She was one of the managers, and I was like, "Hey, I'm starting a platform. Like, I could use some advice." And she's like, "I have a boyfriend." I'm like, "That's cool. I actually need some advice on marketing."
How'd that go?
Deleted.
What's Casey saying?
I mean, I get
The
approached
goalie one?
all the time.
Someone's
Girls
got a goalie. Don't
saying, "Hey,
Exactly.
maybe you should come work for our company." But they're recruiters, so I don't think they're hitting on me. But I've asked you a couple times your advice, and you're like, "Yeah, I'd not answer that," or you'd be like, "No, that's legit." And I'm like, I don't know. I don't have that rate. I don't have very good radar on that. I don't.
Most men don't, so I mean.
We want you to come work with us. It's a competitive number, I promise.
I have terrible women radar, terrible gaydar. Like, she will catch guys hitting on me before I realize it. She's like,
Hey,
"Hey, do you realize that guy?" I was like, "Nope."
The easiest thing is you may not be gay, but I mean, you can get some free drinks out of that. You might as well play it.
I know. I do. Economies of
So I
scale.
like to take them to all the gay bars in my neighborhood. 'Cause one of my best friend's gay. And we
Yeah.
love going to the bars because he gets hit on more than me.
Yeah, so that's perfect. You don't get hit on at all. He gets hit on.
Yep.
Try to get free drinks out of it this time or next time.
It's like your
Yeah.
safe space.
It is. I love it.
Well, we have a few lesbian friends too, and they like having me around because I'm like dude repellent, and so I'm like 6'5", about 250, and so most of the time it's just a deterrent, like carrying nukes, and so my sisters, they like going out because they know they don't get hit on. You don't get hit on.
I just look angry when I go out, so nobody comes around.
Well,
I mean, you do have that.
You said that, but
resting
she
bitch
said,
face.
I do, and I own it. I own it hard.
So I text Cameron. It was daylight savings. I was like, "Hey, just so you know, we've started."
Is that this weekend?
Today.
Yeah, it happened.
last night.
Wait,
yeah.
sorry.
It happened.
So we
We went forward an hour. You lost an hour of
That's
sleep.
why our clocks are off all day.
Oh.
It went from 2 to 3 real quick.
Hold on. What time is it right now?
It's not that time, Mommy. It's not
It's
8:23.
almost
No, it's
10.
not. It's 8:23.
Okay. All right.
it's, yes.
So it
Well,
would
your
have.
phone should be accurate. It should
Yeah,
do that on
you're
automatic.
right. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, we sprung forward, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, we sprung forward. I
That's why
lost an
all our
hour and I
clocks are
stayed
off.
up late.
Yes,
idea.
statistically the most stressful day
No
in
wonder I was
American
so
health.
tired. We were and so not only was I hungover from pounding various different kinds of liquor in one night,
Oh, you get
then
those?
we lost an hour of sleep. I didn't even realize that.
Oh, well, yes, we did. But you slept till 1 anyways. I went to
No,
church.
it was not. It was
But-
11:30. Well, and I really woke up at 10:30, but it was,
Yeah, which was really 9. So
yeah,
Yeah, so, I mean,
yeah. But yeah, Cam, he's been giving me crap for not ever jumping on the Google Meet, live,
Yeah.
and he was like, "Oh, it's gonna be good to meet you in person and see what you look like." And I'm
doesn't
like, "Well,
even show up.
I have
Yeah, right?
slightly
a tool.
less awesome hair than Lane, but he and I would, if we were both single at a place, would cause a
listen,
lot of
he's the
issues.
pretty one. That's what we call him.
Honestly, in California, you could pass as Steve Kerr's cousin. You should start telling people you coach for the Warriors and see what happens.
Man,
Don't get Casey started. It won't end.
I
He's
know
already
some
started.
other basketball players. If you
He's-
guys want to go run in a group,
So James, we'll see James up here 10, 12 times a year.
Yep.
And after this weekend, we're considering hanging a Supersonics jersey in the shop.
Wait, the Supersonics became Oklahoma City Thunder, right?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah. And then the Oilers became the Titans
Why'd they change the Oilers' name?
because there's no oil in,
Oh, fair.
in Tennessee. As
Didn't
far
make
as
a lot
I
of
know.
sense.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
They would have. I think there's strip mining. Like I think they have coal there, so they could call them the Blackfaces or something.
Well, that makes
Yeah, I
sense.
don't know
the
if that'd
Smokies.
work, but yeah.
Yeah.
I'm sure everybody would love that team.
Yeah.
The Tennessee Smokies.
Smokies. There you go. Yeah, because that could stand
If that
for
Disney
liquor,
movie wasn't
dog.
popular, I don't think they would have been the Titans. Let's
Yeah.
just be fair.
Yeah. I think the Titans is such a dumb name. I'm sorry if anybody's.
Nah, you're
offended,
not
but
wrong.
It's
I still get a kick out of the name Trojan.
Commanders.
Commanders, yeah.
Ugh,
The
stupid.
Washington Sentinels.
I still routinely mess up and I use the name Redskins.
Listen, they
I
were,
have been yelled at on chairlifts for calling Palisade Squaw.
but they
I've
want
been
to name
calling
that.
it Squaw since I was
Yeah.
10 years old.
It's Squaw
The
Valley.
Olympics there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Have you seen the bumper sticker? I saw one at North Star the other day. It just said, "Don't call me Palisades."
I've been yelled at on chairlifts for that.
Well, the funny part is a lot of the Native Americans that have like these places are named after it. They want it back. They're like, we liked it. That's our team. That's our name. We're
Yeah.
fine with it.
Yeah, you know who's doing it right?
Yeah.
The Florida
The
Native
Seminoles.
tribe, the Seminoles.
Yeah, because the
Yeah.
Seminole tribe came out and was like, no,
Yeah, no.
that's staying right
Fuck-
there.
fuck
Thank
off.
you.
Yeah.
We'll
Man.
tell you when it's
Go
inappropriate.
ahead. Yeah, whatever you want. So whatever you guys don't want or you want less, I will probably take those on because after on Wednesday we're going to Southern California, meet up with some other friends, go up to Santa Barbara, hit wine country. But one of the guys is also a big bourbon fan. So whichever one of these you want less, I mean they're both awesome, but whichever you want less, and if you have the 18, maybe you guys ought to hold on to that.
They are not lying about double oak.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean it is. It's
How-
super
How
oaky.
oaky is it?
It's,
I mean,
it's oaky.
it overpowers any spice that I taste, and I'm not as, distinctive palate as you guys are, but
Is it like drinking oak wood chips?
Listen, I feel like
it's not that bad.
Okay.
I think we're
don't-
playing in the
Yeah.
same ball field, or at least you two are. I just like to drink.
You're an alcoholic.
No, I'm not.
Yes, you are.
No.
Government issued alcoholism.
It's a government
Makes you
issued
an
problem.
alcoholic.
I keep telling you, it's a government issued problem. It's not an alcoholic. I still have my house. I am not in need of alcohol because I have it.
There was one topic I was hoping Cam would come on that I thought would have been a heck of a conversation piece. Is any sort of bad experience you had with your first time with a foreign substance? And I was going to pull her in because she has one of the best stories ever of.
I've only done peyote once, and that was while I was in the army.
No, hers was like weed and THC, but the spray,
Yeah.
the Banaka spray things, where one is essentially half of a joint.
Yeah.
And she's like, "Hey, I don't feel anything." She just kept going, but it was when
First time ever.
Oh,
Yeah.
30
It's not working.
I'm hoping that he comes on.
I can tell
because
you my
he would
first
get a
time.
kick out of her story.
So my first time,
last time.
my first time smoking the green was I was in high school, and we found a pail of the green in the Home Depot parking lot. It was
What?
like a pail, like one of those pails like that one that we put our ashes in.
Yeah.
It was like that, full of weed. And we pulled it. We smoked it that night, and I didn't want to like it, so I smoked as much as I could. And then I started drinking spiced rum, and I downed it. And I drank about a liter of water. And my friend's sister, and she was fine back then, and she came up to me. She's like, "Hey, if you're going to puke, you see that door? Go out that door, clear my porch, and puke off the side." And I looked at her. I'm like, "You bitch, why would you say that?" I was doing fine. And I got up, and I stumbled. I missed the doorknob the first time, grabbed it, and then I looked at her, and I went like this, and I just puked on her porch.
If you're gonna spew into this.
Yeah. And then I came back inside, and like it was horrible because I was twitching on the ground at some point, and then like They brought me the kitty litter box. They didn't have a cat anymore, and they threw cat litter in it, and I puked in that cat litter box. And I did that quite a few times, and I freaked out my older brother because he was worried about me because I was twitching on the ground, and he was freaking out, and I woke up. I'm like, what's wrong with you? He's like, I thought you were dead. I'm like, get the fuck over it. Get away from me. And I went back to bed. Woke up the next morning. I had like the worst cotton mouth. And I'm like, I'm so fucking hungry. Walked down to the gas station, bought some food and ate. It was a good night though.
So you went through a whole pail of sticky bush.
I went through about a fifth of a pail. And then there was like 4 other people there. So I don't know what happened to the rest of it.
My parents, I grew up in Kansas City. I think I told you guys. And one time, and you've not ever seen me do this, but one time that I ever got sick, because guys our size, we can put away a ton of liquor. And if you're diluting it with water and food, you can just keep rolling, right? And so I just kept rolling, but I did have enough to drink one time when I came home from the Army. I think I was out of the academy, and I think I was about 2 years out. And I came home, and I was with some friends, and we went out. And the one time where I threw up, I was coming home. My parents had, my dad doesn't like the shit, but they had these ceramic potters with little rose bushes things on either side of that. You remember that house? She saw it like right before they sold it and moved to Texas. And I went in, and I wasn't going to puke, and I puked right in one of those. But I didn't want it to be in there, and I went and got some water, and I diluted it, but it went. And so 2 weeks later, I'm talking to my mom, and she's like, I'm just so upset. One of my rose bushes, they just all died. they're just all discolored, and then they just died, and I just don't know. And I was like, was it the one on the right or the left? And she was like, it was the left. And I was like, oh. Well, I don't know what happened. That's just really unusual. Maybe you just didn't put enough fertilizer in there. But that was, so she wouldn't watch this. It's later, but if she ever did and she heard it, she was like,
That's getting
killed
clipped.
my high end, because there was this one year where she spent a lot of money on flowers, not the cheap ones.
Yeah.
But she went to the higher end nursery and got the really nice ones, and I just destroyed it with like a mixture of rum and vodka, and it all just.
Elevation plays a big part in it, because
Yeah.
when I took one of my leaves, I came up here and I got used to drinking down there, sea level. And then we came up here and we went to Apple Hill, and I started drinking up there, and I drank like 2 pints. That was it. I'm like, I'm fine. And then all of a sudden, like, we're driving home, I'm getting sick, and my mom's like, do not puke in my truck. This is brand new. Here's my purse. And she gave me her $300 purse, and I puked in there. Oh. And then she was mad about it. I'm like, don't give it to me then next time.
Remember the boot? It was like her second date.
Yeah, that was. Wait, was that with Lauren? Lauren's, yeah. So, a buddy of mine, his name's Lauren. He has passed away.
There he is.
But yeah, it was in Kansas City, and we went over to his parents' house, and so in Missouri, Kansas City are right on the border, right, of Kansas and Missouri, right? And Missouri has last call at 2:45, and the bars are open till 3. You're drinking till 3. In Kansas, it's 2. Last calls at 1:30, 1:40. So a lot of people will drink over in Kansas. They'll go 2 streets exits now, and they'll drink. So we did that, and she's outside this place, and she's just, I don't know, I don't feel good. And I'm like, hey, this is a rental car. I am not going to get a $250 barf removal fee for this. You will barf in your boot. She's like, no, I'm not going to barf in my boot. And then I was like, you were barfing in that boot, not in this car.
You better puke in that.
And so she throws up outside the car, but then we take my buddy home, and literally she chunks in his front yard. and it's frigid. This is Christmas Eve. I wish we could pan over and put you on the and throws up in the and so the driveway, it is frozen rock solid. So Lauren, my buddy, gets out there. He's like, dude, I don't know what she had to eat, but like I had to get a shovel, and I was like, it was like concrete, and I was like, and so he gets out there, and his dad made him get out there and clean it up, and that was him. And it was literally like a dog crap scoop, and she was out there, and he was breaking it up.
Meeting the parents.
Oh,
Yeah.
nice.
It was, yeah.
I mean, that's what happens usually.
What a classy and inspirational tale.
All right, so he finally made it in.
Looks like we also have a Jeannot in the
I
chat.
haven't heard him yet. Jeannot also chimed in saying, 7 in the chant, introduce yourselves. Jeannot, signing in from Santa Barbara. Everything all? Evening all. Listen, I'm reading from a distance.
How drunk are you?
Not drunk enough to read.
There's Cam.
There's Cam.
Hey, can you
So-
hear us, Cam?
By the way, if
There he is.
yeah, I can hear you. But can you hear me?
Yeah.
By the way, if it was anybody else, I would think that was a Holdren story I just piped into.
For the record, Cameron being late is my fault. I didn't tell him that it was daylight savings.
Do you guys do daylight
Yesterday,
savings
today.
there?
Oh, yeah, it's 10.
No.
He's all, I don't know what that is
We
anymore.
we don't need that.
Dude,
shit
the
over here.
worst. It wasn't my throw up.
It's been way too long.
My parents used to go away for their anniversary every year when I was in high school, and we would throw a party every year. Everyone knew it was happening. Like the whole school knew it was happening. And one year, this one kid puked on the floor, and I don't know why we decided to clean it up differently than we had in the past, but it involved Lysol and a vacuum.
Oh.
And for 6 weeks before my mom finally decided to throw away that vacuum, you could smell it anywhere in the house when she
Yeah.
decided to use it.
Yeah.
It
Oh.
was the worst smell I've ever experienced.
My parents had that kind where it goes into the wall. You just plug into the wall and it's all. Oh,
What are we
was that
listening
me?
to? What is that?
It was the
Oh,
echo
sorry.
from
Oh,
his
my
phone.
bad. Sorry.
No,
I
you're good.
usually have my earpiece in.
I took it off. I'm like, what am I hearing?
My bad.
I heard it. I was like, what is that?
Sorry.
I thought it was Will.
Sorry about that.
No, you're
I
good.
usually have my
Hey,
earpiece.
now's your
Christian,
chance.
pleasure to meet you, man.
Yeah. Cam.
Now's your chance to ask him that question and the
Yeah.
topic.
Yeah, I was like, Cam would have an unbelievable story for this, and my wife Jessica, who's to my right, Cam, we might have her come over and sit here and tell this story. But like the first time that you've ever had like, you know, a foreign substance, whether it's weed or anything else, and you had like a bad experience with it, right?
That's
And-
all of Cameron's experiences.
no, but, well, and she has just a banger classic from when her company did their leadership retreat to Montreal, because the company's owner is originally from Montreal, Canada, which was much farther along with THC and
Those Canadian
weed-
sticky bush.
weed rules. And she went up there and was up there from Wednesday through Sunday, right? And I went up there on Friday. And I'm not going to tell too much of the story, Jess. I might actually have you come over and you tell a story. It's hilarious. But I know. And I come up to basically a comatose girl, and I'm like, what is going on? She gets back to the room, and I'm like,
I'm a vegetable.
she's a vegetable, right? And
Yeah, you just tell us what you remember.
Yeah,
and then he
that's-
can fill in the
Yeah.
blanks.
Memories is what you need.
yeah.
Okay, great. So I can read this thing here.
We got 12 now. All right, so
Okay.
how's your story? Just lean it a little bit more towards you or bring it in either way.
Yep, there you go,
There
right
you
there.
go.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, so never tried weed ever in my life.
Okay.
And so we go on this leadership retreat to Montreal, and they have like pharmacies everywhere. It's legal, right?
Right.
So my boss, who was the COO and the president of the company, was like, "Hey, I'm gonna buy everybody some good stuff." And so he brought the oils, and there was also joints and all the things. And I was
Yeah.
like, "Okay, let me see what's the big deal. Like, let's see what this is." And so I remember walking down the street. We're all walking down, and kind of like took a squirt of oil. Like, okay, great. I'm like, I don't feel anything. So I was like, let me do like 4 or 5 more.
4 or
Then let me
5,
try another.
each one.
Let me try to like. I guess let me try a little bit of the joint. Let's see
You're
what
like,
happens.
let me just try the whole bag.
I was like, I feel nothing. What is going on? Nothing's happened. Well, so about an hour and a half later, we go to dinner, and company
laughing
dinner,
it up.
company dinner, where I'm supposed to be like coasting and making sure the check clears at the end of the night. The last thing I remember is I was on the floor in the bathroom because apparently I almost fell in my pasta. So, and everyone was really freaked out. one of my good friends were like, "Oh my God, are you okay?" Like they were like freaking out, like what was going on. And I was like, it has to be kicking in finally. So, anyways, they send me in an Uber. And I don't even know if I told you that.
So just the timing, just to set this up, I had come in and I had gone to the hotel, right, the Montreal airport. They were at dinner. I was not, spouses and whatever
Right.
were not welcome. So I just went and I waited. And one of her coworkers says, "Hey, she's on the way," shares the Uber ride with me, and she keeps circling around the block and isn't making it, right? And so, and I'm like, well, eventually she gets there. She comes in and is like kind of barely walking, but like not directional and
Staggering, got it.
yeah, but like, oh my God. And then she basically passes out, but like not necessarily from the alcohol. It's from the wheat. It's all the oil spray. And then did you actually try it?
Yeah.
Okay, so you
Oil
smoked
spray,
and all on
bong
top of that,
rips.
right? And then I'm like, and I'm texting her friends back and I'm like, dude, what is, I'm starting to get pissed because I come in town into a foreign country and she is non-functional. Like she is a cadaver. And I'm like, what, do I need to take her to the hospital? Like what's going on? But didn't tell me about all the, and she said, well, we were doing the THC spray. And I'm like, okay, so this is weed or is it liquor or is it both? Or was there, I didn't know, like, did you throw in some cocaine? Was there something else thrown in there? What's going on? And it was like, no, it was all this. And we think that's happening, you know, but I'm like, I don't know, she loves tequila. And I'm like, maybe she's drunk too. I don't think you remember actually seeing me the first night I'm up there in this foreign country. Wakes up, has no hangover.
I felt amazing.
And
Yeah, the
she
best sleep
pops
ever.
up, goes and runs the last day of this offsite, like the meet, and I'm like, what just happened? Like, what was that? And then proceeds and starts filling in the blanks over the course of the day because while she's at work, I'm still working remotely, but I talked to her like briefly before she has to leave, but I still have no idea what's going on, and she doesn't know what I experienced with that, and I'm like, dude, I almost took you to the hospital, like, and it was just, but she had never tried anything, like, and Cam, I know you're like, and so I've never really tried much either because, and you're gonna, you know, Kevin, you'll relate to this, is in high school with sports, it's like, if you do any of that, you're kicked out, and we had a bunch of fairly high-level athletes and stuff, so I never tried anything in high school.
Yeah.
Well, then I go to the academy, and you're getting piss tested by the Army,
Yeah.
by the academy,
Yep.
the NCAA, because I was playing football, and so you're getting hit with piss tests sometimes three
I will
times a
say,
week,
the
right?
worst
So I didn't
thing-
do it there,
the
and
worst
then in the Army,
Yeah.
didn't do it there.
The-
I get out of the Army, and I'm 29, and I'm like, well, I'm not going to try all this shit now. Why would I do it now? Who
Yeah.
cares, right? And I'm 30 already, and I'm like, I'll drink, but I just never did any of it. The only thing I did was on my bachelor party, I tried some Adderall while other people were doing other shit.
That doesn't work for me because
Yeah.
the ADHD, I was on that
No,
when I
you
was a
actually
kid.
need it, yeah, so.
I don't take it now. I just push through it.
Yeah,
You're
but
immune.
that was her first, and I was like that, and I was, you know, and I was
Yeah.
like, we'd been married
And you were kind of
2
freaking
years,
out.
and I'm like, what is going on? Like,
I like that you're like, man, she like do cocaine, like you just,
I-
like you went from like 0 to 100.
100.
Right. You're like she's doing sprays, cocaine,
but she
tequila.
couldn't talk. She couldn't talk. It was like I could have just flat smacked
Yeah.
her. Would not have
Rufalin, like
known
what's
it.
what's going on here?
I mean, I could have violated her in any way I wanted. Wouldn't have known.
Yep.
Wow.
But-
So I'd say the worst.
truth comes out now. Now we really know what happened to you.
The worst thing in the Army for me was those piss tests because I had a shy bladder. Not
Oh.
anymore, but
So
like
he
in MEPS,
couldn't-
they'd be sitting there staring at you,
you couldn't
just
stand.
arm like this.
Somebody standing right behind them in the stall because they got to watch you because they don't.
It wasn't
you
even
sneak
behind-
a little. Some
Yeah.
people would sneak
Yeah.
a little pee bag in there or whatever, and so you got a dude sitting there watching.
Oh, it's
They had to see the full thing, like
Yeah.
the full sight of the image has to be there, so they have to see everything.
Yep.
And half the time, like they're like,
Dick
all
to
right, pants
bottle.
down to your knees, go.
Dick to bottle. They got to watch Dick to bottle.
And like I got stuck doing that one time, and I hated it. I'm like, I've seen enough. I've been in the army. I've shouted with other. I don't need to do this. This is not my jam.
Good old
That's
army
why
glory
they made
holes.
fun of you for being a meat gazer.
That's right.
Oh.
That's right. I saw a lot of meat in my day. I've seen way more than you.
Actually, they used to call him Gonzo.
Yeah.
Hose nose.
Yeah, I can tell you my funny story.
Yeah, go ahead.
The first time I ever smoked weed was fairly similar, actually.
No.
In a different way, though. So what you just said at the very end, that you could have just violated her and done whatever you want. Well, okay, that's how my story ends.
Except you got
I'm in
violated?
Carson City, Nevada, which
His name was Phil.
which is
I'll always remember
which
him.
it was Carson City, as everybody knows that's ever been there, especially in 1996, is a real great place to hang out. Very, very safe, nice people.
It's still that way.
It's very
I
hip
went
there
down
with
there.
it.
And so I'm sitting there and I smoke weed, and it's the same thing. I was like, this shit isn't doing anything. I thought this was super powerful stuff. And they're like, and they're just like, yeah, keep going, you know, just keep going. And so I'm sitting with my three friends, like Travis Kane and a couple other guys. We're in this like total hippie psychedelic fucking, Grateful Dead chamber of fucking highness. And all of a sudden, out of nowhere, I'm like, oh fuck, what is this? Oh no.
Oh no.
Oh
no.
And they were like, I was like, and they were like, oh yeah, no, it's only just beginning. Here, have another puff. Of course, here, I'm like, yeah, sure, I can handle it. I can handle this shit. I'm like 14, and I'm like, yeah, I can fucking. I got this. You know what I mean? Fast forward by a half an hour, and I'm sitting there rocking back and forth like an autistic kid, just going, oh, no.
All these squares make a circle.
No. And these guys, I shit you not, dude, they had these, because we used to train each other in sword fighting, so we had those bokata, or whatever they're called, the bamboo fake swords. So these guys just start beating the shit out of me with these fucking things. So I'm just sitting there, and I have no idea how to defend. I don't even know what the fuck is going on, dude. I'm just like, and I'm like, everybody looks different. Everything's insane. There's like psychedelic lighting everywhere.
Yeah.
They're making all these crazy noises. It was like fucking Lord of the Flies in there, man. I was like, it was ridiculous. They beat the shit out of me, dude. And then I told myself, I was like, I'm never doing marijuana again. And then I was like, wait, I should sell marijuana.
I mean, did you feel it when you were?
sell
Did
marijuana.
it,
The
Jess,
kids
when
would
it was
tell
coming
high
on? Jess, when it was coming on, did you feel like? Did you?
No,
Or did you
I-
just
no,
hit a cliff?
It just
and-
like literally my face almost went to my pasta, and they caught my face. And then
like,
I,
oh,
like next
you're
thing
not kidding. You were literally gonna face
oh
plant.
yeah,
in the-
like
See, I didn't know that.
I remember Bergie was there, and he was like, Jess doesn't look so great. And then all of a sudden it was just like,
And
they
somebody
caught my
literally-
head, yeah.
It's like narcolepsy from narcolepsy girl.
and I
from-
remember like kind of waking up, and I'm like this, like looking, and I'm like on the floor in the bathroom, and I
Not
won't say
knowing where she's
names,
at.
but like two of my friends were like, oh my God, are you okay? And they were freaking out. And I'm like, yeah, I think I'm okay. And then they sent me an Uber, and then the Uber was going all cray-cray. So then I
Yeah.
thought I was getting kidnapped in Canada. And I'm like, oh gosh, how much am I on the black market here? I don't know.
Dude.
And then I get to the hotel, and I'm like sleeping, and I remember you were freaking out. I know I had to like mend some wounds because he was like so mad and like bitching out everybody,
Yeah,
all my friends, like
you didn't
saying,
bring any to share.
That's right.
he was getting mad at my friends, like my coworkers.
I was like, why would you do this to her? Like,
And it
we're in a
wasn't.
foreign country, and it's like,
They're like,
I know it's
she
Canada.
did it
but-
to herself. What?
Yeah.
They just called her the Uber. She thought she was getting kidnapped in.
I mean, that was the bigger risk.
Yeah,
Yeah.
actually, that was scarier. Is they were kept saying like it was like circling and circling, and I looked at the route later.
Yeah.
And I actually didn't realize that until after. I was like, Shh, dude, like this could have been really bad.
They got to make their money.
No.
Yeah,
You gotta
I was
drive
hoping
longer.
it was just that part and not like anything
Yeah.
worse.
Yeah.
To be having a
But
Liam
yeah,
Neeson
that was
moment.
that was like my one and only time I ever cared to have any type of
So Cam,
illegal,
you saw it
legal,
coming.
illegal substance, just
You kind of
marijuana.
saw the downhill slide coming. She just dropped right off a cliff.
Oh no! And I woke up and I felt like I slept like 20
Yeah, no, so
hours.
I definitely. Yeah, I definitely. It was like a come up, and then it was like, I felt, and as soon as it switched, I'd never felt anything like that before, and I was just like, oh no. And then I was like, how long does this stuff last? And they were like, I don't know, 6-7 hours. And I was like, fuck. Dude, later on, fast forward. Okay, I'm going to tell you two more because they're connected to these guys. So, then fast forward like a month later, I come back down to Carson City, right? And I'm smoking with these guys, and they get me so fucking high that I'm laying in my bed, right? And we're like in my bedroom, and I'm like sitting there, and I realize I can't really move anymore. So
I can't
I'm like
move.
laying there, and I'm like, guys, I think I'm too high, and they're like, nah, man, here. And I was like, I can't hold the pipe, and so they put the pipe in my mouth, and they were just lighting it, and I had no other choice because I had to breathe. So I'm just sitting there, and these guys just keep doing this, right? And I'm like, dude, I'm fucking too high, and then I shit myself.
No.
In the bed.
No.
Yeah, I shit myself in the bed. Now fast forward a year later, same guys have no idea why I decided to keep hanging out with these assholes. So, we're sitting in a park in Carson City. Now, if you ever hung out in a park in Carson City in 1997, we'll say, it's basically not the best place you want to be. It's like drug dealers everywhere. And so we're sitting with these old, like,
That's still a thing.
White tweaker-looking dudes, right? Yeah, I imagine it is. Not as bad. Well, now it's probably worse because of all the immigration stuff.
Well, I
But,
also have all the kids that
but yeah,
come in
so I'm
doing
sitting
that.
there and yeah, for real. So there's I'm sitting there and this guy's we're trying to score some weed and stuff, and this older tweaker looking guy's like, yeah, here, and he's like, smoke this, and we're like, he's like, try it out and tell me what you think. So I smoked this weed, and this time it was like boom, and it felt completely different, and I was like, what the fuck? And then about 20 minutes later, I'm like, I feel weird, and the guy's like, oh yeah, that's because there's PCP on it.
Oh no.
Oh, I didn't know you like to get wet. Like that.
Oh god. That's effed up right there.
So I'm like, I was like, oh, okay, what's PCP like? And he's like, oh, you'll find out. I'm like, great.
Were
So
you
I'm like, I think I'm gonna
16?
go now.
18?
15.
Oh
15.
Oh my god.
And
dude.
so I'm walking down the street in Carson City, right? And I'm feeling weird, dude. I'm feeling weird. Like everything's weird. Like just a general feeling of weirdness. And then I start realizing that I'm really tall. Like I'm fucking tall.
I'm
Like,
really
in fact, all the cars driving by me are micro machines. That's how tall I am. All the buildings look like a Lego fucking thing. And I'm walking and my feet are indenting cement, right?
yeah.
And I'm going to my mom's beauty college because it's the only place I have to go. So I'm like, I don't know what the fuck is going on. So I keep walking, and I walk by this church, right? It's Wesleyan Church is what it was called. And it's got this cross on the front of it, right? And so I look up, and I swear it was like Jesus was looking
Jesus
at me
was
doing
right
like,
there.
No. And I don't even believe in Jesus, bro. But that day I did. I was like, no, I swear, Jesus, don't send me to hell, please.
I'll never do it again.
And this cross starts growing, and like grows legs, and is chasing me down the street.
Oh god. That's
So I'm like
terrible.
running as fast as I
You
can.
had a terrible trip.
I'm running from Jesus, bro. I'm just like, get away from me, Jesus! And I'm screaming this shit out loud. Get away from me, Jesus! Stop it! Ah!
You know
Don't
what?
hurt me, Jesus! I swear. Ah.
Cam, you should have just turned
And then I
around.
hit
You
my
can't see.
mom's
I don't know if you
beauty
can see me right now, but you should have turned around, and just given it a big hug. just come get me. Like,
Yeah,
I've not seen you
Yeah,
without your sunglasses,
Smart.
Cam. This is
But,
the first time I've ever seen you without your sunglasses.
it's because it's my lady's actually still sleeping, so I didn't want to do the podcast outside, so I went into the other room.
Oh,
So I
got it.
don't need them. But yeah, I have blue eyes, and I got a light.
Couldn't
I
tell.
can't tell because the light coming from the background is brighter than that.
Oh,
Yeah, you should be
So
facing
you're still
the
washed out.
windows.
Yeah.
You gotta face the windows.
you can
That's
turn around and face the windows.
Yeah, you should have
natural photography.
like the wall behind you. I know you want everybody to see the pretty outside, but in order for us to see you, it'd be easier if you were.
Prettier than me.
That's for
Yeah,
sure.
I can move over.
Did you have a lot of
move
dolls?
over. Let's
Did
see
you
what
have a lot of dolls, Cam? Like when you went home after that, because the dolls, I've heard, can give people like heart attacks when you're on that when you have trips like that.
Yeah, my grandma had a bunch
Well,
of
American Girl
so here's
dolls.
yeah, those porcelain dolls, and she had them lined up. And the night before, I watched that Dollhouse movie, and I was dying. I stayed up all night just staring at him, staring at me.
Yeah.
No, his mom has a room that's dolls, and every time his
So-
sisters have to stay in there, they cover him with blankets. I'm like, I think I'd be more freaked out if the blankets moved.
Yeah.
But and they're very expensive. They're like thousands of dollars.
No, there's those classic
Like-
American
No, they're
Girl
all
dolls.
Yeah.
no, they're porcelain, like
Like
old
a-
school.
Oh,
Original.
yeah, some of those.
Yeah, my grandma had those porcelain dolls that just freaked me out. And then she had this one that was like 3 foot tall that she dyed the hair orange and put the Chucky
Oh,
onesie
no.
on and all that. And just like, oh. She used to scare my grandfather with that. She put it in front of the door
Yeah.
before he came home. And all the dolls surrounding it.
Yeah.
And as soon as he came in, he'd freak out, slam the door, and run.
Yeah.
And she'd die laughing.
Oh my god.
So about the dolls, I've moved position.
Hey, look at that. I can see you clearly. Oh my
About the
God.
doll head.
He put the sunglasses on this time.
Oh, are you looking at your laptop?
Well,
Yeah,
now
he's
it's bright.
populating right
Now
now.
it's bright.
Right.
Answer.
So when I get back, so I'm on this PCP now, and I had no idea that PCP is like a 12-hour totally insane trip
You guys are
because I had never even heard of the shit at the time. I'm 15.
Yeah.
And so my mom's beauty college is the only place I have to go, and this is my second experience with this in the same beauty college. The first time was when I inadvertently ate an entire sheet of acid. And I say inadvertently because it was inadvertent. I
Yes,
didn't mean
it
to
was.
eat a lot of acid. I just didn't mean to eat an entire sheet. But so I get into my mom's beauty college, and it's like I walk in, and it's like there's just 25 women cutting hair, and they're all like these old people that look just like weird fucking gremlin monsters. And everything just looks like it's gonna kill me. And so I go into the cafeteria because I'm like, I gotta get away from these people because they're gonna know I'm high as fuck. And of course, I forgot again that when you go in the back, there's 150 doll heads that they use when they're training. So now I'm just sitting there in a dark room where it's just lit enough to where I can see 150 doll heads looking at me.
Oh god.
And I'm like,
I mean, that's
oh,
gotta
God,
be so
I'm gonna
scary.
die.
Like in that state of mind.
Oh, dude, I did.
That has to be amazing, though.
Oh, man,
See it.
Well, now it's funny as fuck, but it was like at the time I was like, holy shit. Like I can't get out of here. I was like, because it was like they were all bouncing around and fucking singing weird shit in tongues and stuff. And I was like, they're not gonna let me leave. They're gonna kill me. They've all come to life. This is the end of my life. I'm gonna die right here, and nobody even knows it. And then I was just like, okay, I think I know where to go. So I went into the facial room, which is like that's a dark room, right? And there's no facials, right, going on. They usually only do facial training on certain days. So I go in there, and I go in the facial room. I close the door. About 5 minutes later, 2 of the girls come in, and they're like, "Oh, good, you're here. We need to practice doing facials."
Oh
And I'm like,
yes.
"Oh God."
Oh.
So I'm just sitting there, high out of my mind on PCP, with 2 absolute absolutely beautiful women that look like witches that are like massaging weird shit on my face.
Oh
They're
my
just like playing with
God,
my
that's
face.
gotta be
It feels like
scary.
they're pulling my face off. Oh, it was fucking weird.
Hey,
That
Cam,
was
what's
one of the
worse,
weirdest
though?
ones. That was my
PCP or LSD? I've heard LSD is way worse.
oh, PCP for sure.
Really? Okay, I didn't know.
No, yeah. So PCP is a very well. So if you want me to, I can tell you the worst ones. The worst one is there's a Chinese rep chem called 25 CCI, I think what they're called. And then there's 2CB is okay. 2CI is fucking weird. It is the weirdest one. It like crawls on you, and it crawls around your environment. So
Yeah.
it's like if you look up at the sky, you can see it like taking over the sky and changing its color. And then that's probably the worst one. But yeah, PCP it makes you feel in like if you do it enough. Like obviously the first time you're just fucking helpless to it. You're just like, ah! But then after you do it enough, then that's how people become these like, Terminators, you know, where they just go eat people's faces and shit. But there's actually one that's really good that you can never find anymore. It's called BOM, and it's
No, I don't know that
it's
one.
a 38-hour trip,
38?
and usually you have 8 different peaks. Yeah, 38 hours.
Oh.
Yeah, in one tab. And the thing that's cool about it though is it's kind of mild. So like let's say somebody comes up and talks to you, you can kind of just like go into regular conversation and you'll feel almost like you're not high. But then as soon as you stop talking and you look away, everything will start to be swirling and looking really beautiful and really interesting. But then you can bring your mind back. But LSD, when I inadvertently ate that entire sheet of acid, that was probably worse than the PCP because it was 2,400 micrograms of acid, and yeah, I was still high 53 days later. I had it marked on a calendar. 53 days. I was still. I thought I was permafried. Actually, probably I am, but
Yeah, what do you mean you thought you were?
This is still all a trip.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I think I'm just
Sound
gonna
bite.
stick with
Yeah,
drinking
Christian.
tequila.
Pleasure to see you in person.
That's what I would do.
Yeah, no, it's good. One thing I've realized is that the way it's set up here in the shop, Cam, is that the live TV is up above Casey. And so I'm looking up, and I've realized that when I see myself on the camera, I kind of always look like I'm kind of like undershot, and I need to be realizing that I'm looking here, not here, because I feel like I'm talking to him up there, so I'm not like at the most photogenic angle.
I just thought you were doing what I do usually, which is look like Ray Charles and shit.
Yeah.
You know, like Georgia,
Yep.
Georgia on.
But Cam does music as well and tours, and might be having a U.S. leg where he could be coming through like multiple parts. Would you mostly, Cam, if you did though, you would probably just be on the western third of the U.S.? Is that true?
Well, that depends on. It depends. There's different. All the promoters and tour agents, they have their different circuits. So when I get the first leg will definitely be booked on the West Coast. But I'll be pitching to. I'd like to do the East Coast leg, and then I'd like to do the like Tejas and
Gotcha.
Nashville and all that stuff as well.
Well, before you
'Cause
came,
when I tour, I'm going to be touring in full,
sure,
live and
and
DJ.
before you came on, the gifts I brought was an Elijah Craig 18 single barrel, not a barrel pick, however. And then I bought the Woodford Double Double oaked that's over here, which you can see. Yeah, the camera's got both of us. And then I brought what I thought, Casey corrected me, his knowledge is so solid that I thought was all Cuban cigars, which I guess you would technically say they're Cubans because the seed is Cuban, but they were grown in the Dominican. So I guess you would not say, but it's a 5-pack of cigars, all rated what was it? Casey,
93 to 95.
93 to 95, but the full name, the
La Aroma de Cuba.
yeah,
Aroma de
La
Cuba.
Aroma de Cuba. So I brought those in thinking that I was going to smoke one, Jess was going to smoke one, Kevin was going to smoke one, Casey was going to smoke one, and Lane.
Oh, there's still time.
And Jess was like, "Nope, I'm not smoking cigars." And then I was like, and then we
Drinking tequila.
Yeah. So I was hoping that we would all just smoke these Cubans, but I brought them because they were in a 5-pack. But I didn't realize that your knowledge is I just didn't know.
Well, just
But
because they're not
Hey,
Cuban
I mean,
doesn't mean they're not good.
Yeah.
I mean,
Still-
they're
Like
probably
I said, they're good.
Yeah.
You're still learning about cigars and all that
Yeah.
and bourbon. So I mean, it's one of those things. You're gonna build knowledge as you move forward.
no.
No, I'm still learning about cigars.
I know, right? And you've been doing this for what, 20 years almost?
Feels
Yeah.
like forever.
Well, I wanted to be next level, and I wanted to bring in Elijah Craig 21, but that MFR was $1,200.
Yeah, those are a pain in the ass. I came across one too, and
Yeah.
I couldn't afford it.
1,200
Yes.
1,200.
for a.
That-
21.
I think that was
21?
secondhand too.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. I mean, I imagine MSRP is like 4.
Yeah, I think
Maybe
it's about
5.
there.
Yeah.
300,
well, I
400.
got you a good 50th birthday.
Yeah, I
present.
don't know if I ever. God, I don't think I told you guys on the pod about that. So my 50th birthday was in November, and Jess rolls in with, and I've gotten her some pretty good gifts, right? And rolls in with a, like, what the full name is, like, it's. Why am I blanking on it? It's
Louis the 13th.
Louis the 13th.
Ah.
Okay.
Cognac, right?
Yeah.
Cognac, which you know what? Sometimes I've bounced between, I was curious if you guys have ever done this, where you kind of go back and forth between high proof bourbon and cognac. And I find that it's not a horrible switch to go between both of them, but she got me Louis the 13th. I mean, the kind where the box opens like this, crystal decanter.
The
It's,
full 9
yeah,
yards.
like,
Nice.
dude, and I'm like, what are you? I looked and I was like, oh my God, dude, that was
haven't-
like $4,000.
I haven't tried any cognac really. I think I've maybe had one that they
No.
had, but other than that, like I haven't drinking cognac. I mainly stick with bourbon,
Yep.
Irish whiskey, Scotch, and
So
Rum.
I kind of got into Irish whiskey when we went over to Dublin to visit my sister and brother-in-law that were over. He was working for Frito-Lay at the time.
Yeah.
And he was in the Gatorade division, and Gatorade evidently is not well penetrated over in the European, like North European market. So he was over there to do that, and we went over there for a football game, long story, but we went over to visit them, and we went to some of those bars, and Redbreast, oh my God,
Redbreast is pretty good. Yeah.
And so at the airport, they had a duty free, they had a Redbreast 27. I bought it. I got it sitting. I still haven't opened it.
Yeah.
But a Redbreast 21 was one of the most amazing things I've ever had. That little whiskey bar we went to that was just so spectacular. I'll show you guys pictures of it later. It's one of the most spectacular. It's actually not much different than this, but imagine a whole bunch of like LED lights everywhere. It's just spectacular, right? And
Right.
they had Redbreast 26. And they had a Redbreast 21, and I was like, this is some of the best whiskey I've ever had. And so I bought the 27 just on a leap of faith, and I've never opened it. But, like, again, if you guys come to Texas, I would open that. I don't know, like that Van Winkle,
Yeah, we drink.
79.
My
maybe.
family drinks Deanston, and that's
Yep.
what we have every time. Like,
Do you like
a member-
Bushmills?
I haven't had that one.
No?
My every time like one of our family members pass away, or our dogs mainly, when our huskies pass away, we
Yeah.
take a shot of that.
Speaking of huskies, have you ever watched that YouTube channel of the huskies, Kana and Can, and they just
It's like the
human
sisters, and right? It's a
yeah,
two.
yeah,
Yeah.
and
They're so
she
funny.
scolds them, and they just start.
Yeah.
And they start. Well, evidently one of them died this past week. Oh
that's
my
sad.
God! It was like, I mean, it was just one of the saddest things I've ever seen.
I have a husky right now, and
Is that
like,
your puppy?
I could no,
Oh.
I could yell at her, and she just gives me a dirty side eye.
Yeah.
and just walks away.
But if you had another husky, they'd probably start howling together.
My mom and dad have 2 huskies right now, and like the male husky howls, and like anytime a fire engine or ambulance or any of those come by, he goes off, and he's just going. But as soon as the female starts howling, her howl's not quite there. He gets freaked out, like, and his howl starts changing, and it's more like whiny.
Oh my gosh.
My puppy is a Belgian Malinois.
Oh,
That's the
okay,
newest
okay.
addition to my family.
Okay, we have a boxer. We have a boxer that we adopted. He's 3. We adopted him when he was 2, and then we have an almost 18-year-old Chihuahua,
Oh wow.
Yeah.
which our
Shade.
house sitter actually called, and she was like, "I'm worried. Her legs keep getting stuck up, and she couldn't move, and she's not eating."
So she has this weird thing where she will get up after like sleeping, and I think it's arthritis, and she can't like straighten her
literally
front
can't straighten her legs.
But it's not. It's not that. What happened? It's like they're flexed. Like
Yeah.
she's almost like she's having a seizure, but she's not. And so you just go like this, and you just bump it, and then she
And then she's
extends them, and
fine.
she's fine, and she goes right. But now, like the one thing, and we just took her to the vet. Blood work perfectly fine. The one thing she has is a slightly little bit of elevated, like it's a enzyme about from her kidney,
Yeah.
but it doesn't indicate kidney
And a little bit of
failure.
heart murmur, which is very common with Chihuahuas because they
Yeah.
said that they're
Well,
always
because their
nervous.
heart is like the size of the end of
But
your
dude,
finger.
I mean, she's still trucking. I got her when she was 8 weeks old with my ex-husband, not him.
Wow.
So I've had her since a baby when I
Yeah.
lived in LA, in
Yeah,
Malibu.
my first husky had that same issue where it was those enzymes were elevated, but she passed away from it because she had like undersized kidneys.
Oh,
So that's what
Okay.
she passed away from. And then our German Shepherd is 10 years old now.
yeah,
He's
he's getting up there.
He just meanders, and he's healthy. He just meanders.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe just there's this one
got-
kind of
we've got,
shot. Yeah, go ahead, Cam.
Yeah, no worries. I was we've got 2 dogs. They're Rika and Rollins. Rollins is they're both
Rollins.
wild animals. So
Richard
like
Rollins,
literally,
as in Richard
not even a
Rollins.
joke. Henry Rollins,
Oh, okay,
the singer.
okay. 'Cause Richards
but yeah, 'cause
lives
he's
in Dallas.
Henry Rollins is a super tough, like Henry Rollins is a super tough, like crazy punk rock guy. So Rollins is he's a Thai Ridgeback, which is specific to the Chiang Mai Mountains, basically. And then Rika is what's called a Bian Kiao, which is a Thai wolf. So she's
Wow.
they're like a tiny wolf, and they actually come from the same litter. And we adopted them because they were we used to do we still do it, but before when I lived in that fucking shithole Thailand, we
Your favorite.
there were 6 puppies tied up. Yeah, my favorite. Yeah, there were 6 puppies tied up in a sack and thrown into a crematorium, and they were 1 day old. And
Jeez.
so my lady Adele and we syringe fed them to get them through the night. Got them to the vet. The vet was terrible. We fostered all of them. There was all 6. We got 4 of them adopted. The other 2 didn't get adopted, so we adopted them. And then we have 2 cats, both proper Siamese that were also wild. And unfortunately, today, as of last night, we just found out our prize fish. His name was Reggie. He was a bristlenose catfish that we raised from like this big, like tiny little thing.
Wow.
And now he looked like tiny. He was like a tiny shark. And a snake got into the pond and got Reggie.
Oh.
So now you have a pet
Yeah.
snake.
So
It was
well, I have what's going to be a dead snake by the end of the day.
Yeah.
I'm going to take that fucking thing. I'm going to look it in the eyes and fucking snap its neck. But yeah, my lady's still, she's depressed and laying in bed right now because
Fair.
she's very attached to this fish. So was I.
Oh.
did you know?
What is it with you and snakes?
Yeah, I didn't want. Oh, well, actually, that's funny because Lane, I was going to say, he actually named my snake that Lane got me for my 23rd birthday. I think
King
it was.
Louis.
I named him Louis XIII. Yep, that's correct.
Yeah, and I was the only person
he
King Louis
hated-
wouldn't bite.
Every man. Yep. He hated everybody except for Lane and women. If it was a woman, Agata, my crazy fucking ex-girlfriend.
Well, that's because they were related.
Snakes in the brain, bro.
Yeah.
Should we tell that theory, Lane?
Snakes. Well, it's not my theory.
Snakes in the brain theory.
Yeah.
I stole it.
Well,
let's hear the theory. I'm
The
curious.
floor is yours.
plausible deniability.
Okay, so the theory goes every woman has snakes in the brain. You just have to decide whether they're your kind of snakes.
Yep.
Christian,
Some of them are
Christian,
venomous.
Christian,
Some of
just
them are
looking over there.
Don't, Christian,
any
look,
guesses?
Look here, Christian.
Wait,
Don't look over there. Look here.
Any guesses as to where that theory came from?
The story of Medusa.
No.
Oh.
Well, maybe. That might be where he created it
Oh
from.
wait.
What person originated that theory?
D'Annunzio?
No.
I-
I share a last name with him.
Oh,
know?
your brother.
Yep.
He's definitely your brother. Yeah. That makes sense.
You're Adam.
Yeah.
Yeah, that would be
Adam.
Adam's theory.
Now I remember it actually.
Quiz.
Yeah, I remember him now. I was saying that shit. Yeah, Steve. That was. I think that was the night we were all playing poker, and he was just fucking. Him and I did pretty well, but he was just like smoking people on the poker table.
Well, it's because he's a poker
He
player.
could just read right through everybody.
He doesn't even need to. Dude,
Well, he's also.
he knows the statistics cold. Like, if he's looking at cards and he's looking at his hand without doing any math, he knows what the probabilities are, and he knows if he should be in the hand or not. Like, he knows he's a poker player.
Janot says the theory is herpetologist approved.
I appreciate that, Chanel.
Yeah.
His Josephus? Is
Yes.
he on?
I haven't
Josephus?
seen him on there yet.
I think we might have lost Josephus in the day change
Oh.
from
No,
Monday
he
to
was-
Sunday.
He was on last week.
Oh, was he? I wasn't here last week
Oh,
because I
He
was
hilarious
dying.
last week.
There was some gems last week.
Oh,
from
yeah.
him, for sure.
He had some good ones.
Hey, what'd you think of that double oak, Kevin?
I liked it. It's
Well,
gone.
the whole episode was pretty good.
It's gone.
Yeah.
Kim is in Japan.
He's in Cambodia
Cambodia.
He's in Siem Reap.
Same thing.
That's
because
discount.
it's
discount Japan.
better than Thailand, right?
Yeah, because he got thrown out of
Far
Thailand.
better than Thailand, bro. Do you know where? Do you know? Okay, so you know where I live. What it literally means.
I've always
Siem
wanted to
Reap
go to
means
Thailand, but you're
the
saying
fall
Cam overrated?
of Siam.
Oh.
It's good. He loved it back then
I
until
would,
he,
I would
you know,
say that
now
your
got in
your
trouble.
opinion of Thailand is a bit skewed.
That is true.
Well, no. Okay, so I'm going to back it up with some evidence, though. Okay. So here's what happened: is Thailand used to be amazing under the former king, King Phumthipom.
Yeah.
He was the people's king, man, and he took that place from a backwater nowhere place to an absolute, it's a gold mine. It was, and when he passed away, the military took over the government, and
Sounds
then they
right.
decided, literally, the deputy prime minister said that all Farang, which is Farang is a racist word. It's like the N-word about white people in Thailand. He said all Farang are filthy, disgusting thieves, and we want them out of our country. And so what they've done since then is they've been clamping down. They've been separating families. There's guys who have been there for 18 years that have a 15-year-old kid, and they won't do their visa when they go out and just won't let them back in. And they're like, yeah, tough shit. And then in Thai people they actually have to apply to the Thai government to be able to leave Thailand. So it's like the opposite of what we have to do, where we have to go and apply to the other country. In Thailand, the Thais actually have to ask permission to be able to leave. And
Right.
then they have to ask permission of the government to go to.
That sounds terrible.
And so they just stopped that. And
Isn't
then
it
they
a
started
communist
ripping
country,
it there.
though?
Oh, it's awful. No, definitely not.
No?
It's a democratic monarchy. It's an oxymoron is what it is.
That's what it
It's
sounds
democratic
like.
monarchy. So the new king, the new king, Vasakorn, he he's infamous in Thailand for everybody wanted after the king died for the princess to take over, and it would have been the first female monarch in Thai history. Everybody wanted it to happen. So he took her and broke both of her legs and tried to make sure she could never walk again.
Ooh.
And he's also famous for living in Germany for the entirety of his life. He was born in Germany. The only reason that he is still the king, he didn't want to be. He wanted to abdicate. But if he did, because he's a German citizen, they would get 51% of his wealth, which is 51% of Thailand's GDP. So he can't. So
That would
everybody
seem to
hates
be
him.
prohibitive.
The military runs the government. He doesn't even live there. Yeah, I think giving away over half your country's wealth to another country is probably not the best idea. So I would agree.
I
with
mean,
the
Germany's
decision there,
struggling a
but
little bit. They could use it.
then it became yeah. But then, so after that, then it became prohibitive to do business there. I had a completely legal business. I still got arrested, extorted. I was on Channel 7 TV. I was surrounded by every level of law enforcement. I'll see if I can find the picture for next week, Kevin, so you can throw it up. And yeah, I paid my way out and all that stuff, but things just kept going downhill. So a lot of my friends and different people I know, they divested. And Siem Reap literally means the fall of Siam. So this is where I live is where the Khmers in the ancient world, like 1100, the year 1100, they stopped the Siamese from taking over basically all of the entire area here. Not just Cambodia, but Laos, and then further to Vietnam. And so they crushed them here, pushed them back all the way to a temple that they've still been fighting over for 800 years. It's right on the border of, I think, Arian
Just put it in this.
And this is why you keep two of the
Put it in that
cats as prisoners, right?
Well, I mean, the thing is, black cats are hated, and they kill them in Thailand. They're considered to be the worst. Like they're an omen. So we took them because they'd be dead otherwise. So now they're Cambodian cats. Actually, we smuggled our dogs and cats here. The reason we came here was because we couldn't get the dogs and cats out. We were living in Mexico, and we were planning to get them there, and we couldn't. So we had to move here, and then ended up falling in love with the place. Excellent place to do business. They really are pro foreign business investment, and easiest place to get a visa and work permit and open a business that I've ever seen. We open our new guest house and bar on April 15th. So we start remodeling next week. So excited about that. But yeah, so that's why Thailand, the thing about Thailand is they really went for the Chinese investment. And so, and they went away from wanting white people in the country. So a lot of them have moved their businesses here. There's like countless restaurants that used to be in Chiang Mai that are now here. That used to be in Bangkok that are now here. Because I mean, Cambodia has everything Thailand has and more. It has this thing called Angkor Wat, So, which is a strange story because it's actually not owned by Cambodia.
Is it owned by their version of monks?
Nope. So when the Vietnamese liberated Cambodia from Pol Pot, when they gave as they say, the country back, their one stipulation was that Vietnam owned Angkor Wat and that they would allow for Cambodians to split profits with them on it and allow all Cambodians free entry. But then years later, just over the last, they got a bunch of Japanese investment during COVID to rebuild all their roads, which is why we literally walk on marble streets here. It's like one of the most beautiful cities ever. So clean, and like we have like Bellagio fountains in the river and shit here. You wouldn't believe what this place looks like. It's amazing.
Sounds like
they
it wouldn't.
split. Now it's half owned by the Japanese and half the Vietnamese.
I've heard Cambodia is just awesome. I really wanted to go. Of course, Phuket gets all the PR, right? Plus, I'm a lifetime platinum Marriott guy, so it's hard to not go where the Marriott properties are, and Marriott's got a hell of a property in Phuket, and I've thought about going, but as I've looked more and more in the, Far Eastern Basin, I'm like, everybody's talking about Vietnam and Cambodia. Don't go to Thailand anymore. And I'm like, well, maybe, but now you just confirmed it. Like, it's just a little harder to fly because American Airlines, so I'm a million miler on American as well. And I don't think they go into Cambodia. I'd have to look into that. But I mean, I've heard it's just
Well, I mean,
spectacular.
the thing is, I'm sure they go to Bangkok. It's easy enough. You can fly to Singapore on American, and then you can connect over to Phnom Penh or to Siem Reap now. So that's how we did it.
Oh yeah,
Casey, thanks for the advice. This is
Singapore was
outstanding.
cool. I was really surprised.
Casey's cigar knowledge is exceptional.
I mean,
Yeah, and if you ever end up out here, man, trust me, I'll make sure that we'll make sure that you get the full fucking experience, the coolest stuff.
Hey, so
I mean,
real
I booked
quick,
some of the biggest shows out here, and
was there a verdict on the whiskey game?
oh,
Oh,
this is
oh yeah.
no, that's
Number two.
Number two.
Number two?
Number two.
Number two was. I thought it was proofy.
Yeah.
I think get any proof from it though.
Or young. Maybe it's just young.
But it's probably because we drink more.
True.
I really
I haven't
like
looked
that
at it
number
yet.
two. Whatever that mystery. Who knows what number two is?
No one.
We're about to find out.
You're the only one.
I have the bottle right here. I haven't looked at
I
it.
think 3.
Three is the best.
Yes.
I really like three.
Three is
That's
good.
that stuff over there, right?
But 2's really good.
I can tell you what the best is. It's not in the rack though.
No, it's what we're drinking right now. Obviously, dude, George T. Stagg is my favorite bourbon, period.
Yes, this George T was amazing,
Where do you
and it is
stack
perfect.
with Stag Junior though. It's
Oh,
still
listen,
above-
Stagg Jr. is really good. George T. Stagg blows it out of the water.
Yes.
So this is Stagg Jr. plus 6 to 7 or 8 years of age.
Yeah, it's so good.
Like usually when this comes out, it's 15 years
so
ish.
this
Like-
is 136 proof. Point.
I mean, Cam, I'm scared to drink this. Not because like I'm a proof pussy, but like
I mean,
it's like it's like I feel almost guilty drinking stuff like this.
The
right?
face you made when it came out was impressive.
Yeah.
well, I've got
Go ahead.
my vote goes for number 4 personally.
-4 maybe.
Gansberg.
Honestly,
Your Gansberg is your number one because it's all you got.
German beer made by tiny Cambodian hands.
Whiskey 2 had some Stagg profile to it.
It
It
did.
just didn't taste proofy enough for it to be a Stagg for me.
Unless we got used to it somehow.
Gansberg.
Dude, you got some high end stuff over there.
Hey, that Gansberg.
I mean, this cigar is outstanding. Like,
Oh, Roman de Cuba is fantastic.
God, it's really good. And
Plus, you should see the wrappers.
Oh, I'm sure.
The age on these is phenomenal.
Yeah, these wrappers are.
I got
All right,
I
so-
got one here for you, Lane. Whenever you're ready.
What's the whiskey? Yeah, I'll grab it in a second.
What is?
What was number one? The Russells was the loser, but I do like the Russells a lot. It's just not as rich as the other two. But Russell's a very good, like, everything's balanced. It's got enough of the roughness from the oak. Like, Russell's very good.
Yes.
But 3, that smoke eye, like, Minnick's not wrong. That's amazing.
The smoke is good.
And it stands out compared to the other two. The other two, I'm not gonna lie, were kind of mute compared to that one. Once you had that one, it was.
yeah, that's fair.
Three kind of destroys both those.
All right, so number 2, JD Pepper.
That makes sense. JD Pepper does have Stagg profile.
It's 105.4 proof.
Okay.
And it wasn't that proofy. That's why.
Yeah,
no,
we-
it wasn't. It was. It's just.
That's that JD Pepper decanter.
It's, yeah.
Yeah.
It's a flavor.
Well, one thing I had considered doing for you guys is rather than Lane.
Oh, no worries.
Just burn them. It's fine.
Rather than bringing in the bourbon, which it's a bourbon channel, but remember how I was telling you about how I really like drinking aged ports with cigars, and I had a 1970. I was either a 77 grams or a 70 awfully, and I was gonna bring one, but I was like, I'm not
Most
gonna do
ports
it because
stand
you
up.
I will say,
aged ports.
Yeah,
Old.
but like good port might be the single best cigar alcohol out there.
I mean, I will take, Casey, you might know, I will take my cigars and I will dip it in the port and then I will smoke it. And that's
That's how you pull off the bite off of cigars usually.
You're allowed to do that.
Yeah. Like most cigars, if you're
mean, this
having
is so
them,
good. I could
you
do
dip
this.
them in your cognac or like a whiskey,
Yeah.
and it pulls the bite out of the,
Yeah.
the cigar. If you're getting that bite,
Yeah.
it smoothens it out.
I mean, if you guys came to Texas, we would all have some Louis the 13th.
How far are you from Bryan?
3 hours. Actually, Dean, my 8-year-old, had a wrestling meet there. He qualified for state, and it's 2 hours and 45 minutes.
My kid didn't qualify this yesterday.
No.
No, he gave it a good try. Won the first two. The third one,
Yeah.
the ref wasn't paying attention every time he had the kid down.
Yeah.
Somehow he got lost that one, lost the fourth the same way, and he gave up on the fifth.
I have a massive amount of respect for wrestlers. Like, I kind of did in high school, but like I was just too tall and lanky. I couldn't wrestle. I'd just get my ass kicked, and so. But it's like
I mean, you
these
basically
kids,
look like
man.
Dolph
It's
Lundgren's stunt
intense. I know. I mean, it's intense. Like, and
It
these,
is, and the parents
And
are,
No.
they're on the side of the ring yelling,
Oh, I mean,
trying to give him pointers from the stands.
the loudest people in this, and 24 mats at the state, right?
Wow.
The loudest people I heard in there were all mothers. I mean, just going
Yeah,
crazy.
somehow the mothers are into it way more than the dads. Usually the dads are pretty laid back, and they tell them how to. They give them
Yeah.
guidance after the match, like, "Hey, you could have done this. Try this. We'll work on this."
Well, yeah, because unless your son used a steel chair, it's not really entertaining.
Hey, help me out with the scoring methodology again. Remember how like there's the burn and
Oh,
the,
for our cigar reviews?
And so I was gonna do it right.
So-
now.
So it's 20 draw,
Okay.
40 flavor, 10 burn, 30 general impression, and then we do plus minus 5.
And
for
Kevin's
value.
tears.
For price, and then a bonus point for Kevin's tears.
So draw. How's your draw? My draw's pretty good. I give it about a 16.
Sorry, that's on a 20 scale.
Out of
Yeah.
20, yeah.
and is 16? That's it's 90% in high school, right?
Yeah.
But is that unreasonable? Is that rare to say something is 16 out of 20?
No, not usually. Like there's some that are rare to get like the 19, 20, 18. We don't get that too often. It's usually like 14 to 17 is usually where we get.
So where the top end of the draw scale
Yeah.
is both easy but rich.
Okay.
So you're not getting a lot of air,
Yeah.
but you're also not working to pull it in.
I mean, I'd have to say, like, if I was to say 17 or 18, is that unreasonable?
No.
Like, it's just, like, this is one of the best, easiest cigars I've ever had.
And each cigar is going to be different.
So like Rockies, easiest draw probably in the business.
Yeah.
But we'll never get a 20 or a 19 because it's always a little airy.
Yeah.
So you sacrifice a little bit of flavor for that draw.
Okay, got it. Maybe
Yeah.
17. How about that?
And like flavors out of 40, I give this about a 33 for me.
I mean, I'd say, yeah,
Right around there.
30 to, well, probably a little, I'd say 30, 31, 32, probably, is where I'd give this.
And I'd knock it on the burn because I got this off burn where it goes from there to there.
So that to me looks pretty good.
Yours is pretty good.
I mean, I'm looking at how tightly packed it is as well, and I'm like, it's just, yeah, this is, I mean, sorry, and the burn is out of 10.
Yeah.
Because the burn is entirely a construction issue.
Yeah.
So it's just a question of how good the roller was that put it together.
Like mine I would give like a 7, but I also have a scale for myself because for some reason I always get the best ones.
Yes, literally the best.
Literally. And
So
then
The
impression.
fact that I did a V cut, does that greatly change the draw number as if I had a straight
it
cut?
can, but it doesn't usually as much.
Okay.
And then impression is out of 30. Your overall impression of the cigar, it includes looks,
Yeah.
anything that it stands out to you.
I mean, if I could, it's one of those things like when you get that awesome $30 bottle of wine that just tastes so good, and you're like, oh, I'll just get a case of that, and that's the one I'll have. Like, I would smoke this consistently. Like, I mean, out of
30.
30, I mean, I got to get 25.
25 is good.
Yeah,
I was thinking right around there.
yeah.
The bonus points are usually based on price and certain things like that. But you got these for free, so I mean, I feel like it's a whole 5 bonus.
It was a gift, yeah. I mean, and
La Aroma 5-pack is around $45 to $50.
It's
okay,
not bad.
all right.
So about
it's like-
10 bucks a stick, give or take.
Yeah,
Okay.
12-ish.
Not a
Well,
bad
and I'm
price.
just not as. I mean, someone's out there watching us and like, do you trust my opinion? Probably not. But I mean, this is really easy to smoke, and it's good.
Most of us are the same way. Like, you don't have to trust our opinion. The 3 of us have been in the business for quite a while.
Yeah.
The one over there, Casey, he has the most knowledge. I worked in it for about 7 years before the shop changed hands, and Lane's been in it for a while.
I mean, I've been involved in the shop for 10 years, probably 12 years. But I also, like, I started smoking cigars. Like, we smoked cigars in high school instead of cigarettes. I just started smoking cigars too young. Well, because, all right, so you'll probably understand this. So there was about 7 or 8 of us. We thought we were playing D1 football.
Yeah.
Like, we were those guys in the team. So we didn't drink, we didn't smoke.
Yeah.
Once a month, we would do a cigar walk. So I started smoking cigars when I was like 15.
Yeah.
I started when I was around that same age.
Well, see, what I didn't know is that I thought cigars had the same effect as cigarettes.
With all the additive,
Yeah,
like
and-
the
or
poisons
just
and all that.
killing your wind and everything.
Yeah.
And I was like,
If you would like to know, there's a fantastic episode of Modern Marvels
yeah,
specifically about tobacco, and the first 15 minutes is how cigarettes are made, and it's impressive.
Yeah, because they put rat poison and other stuff in it,
there's-
formaldehyde.
There's between 400 and 500 additives in a cigarette.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so cigarette tobacco is a slimmer sort of chopped up mesh that's then cooked in a vat, strained into a paste, and then dried in sheets, chopped up in sheets, and then stuffed into a cigarette.
Yep.
With all the additive chemicals on top of it. It almost made George quit, if I'm being honest.
And yes, there he is, still going.
Still smoking Marlboro Lights, but it's all right.
But I smoked like from the age 11 to 21. I quit when I was
That was the
21.
heaviest
Yeah.
cigarette smoker.
Hey, Bowman, are you going to get me that address to send you shit?
Yes. Yeah. Thanks for reminding me. It's a good idea because it needs to happen before Oakenfold gets.
We're going to send him some swag. Oakenfold's going to he's going to try to get him to wear a swag when he performs there.
Nice.
We've met the guy.
I know, well, that's what I said. Like, dude, Oakenfold was rad.
He-
For
I mean,
a
he-
couple of hours in here, he was amazing.
He's a pretty cool dude.
Yeah,
He's
yeah.
a little drunk, but he's pretty cool.
Then he fits in.
came in here.
Yeah, just
Well, yeah, he's
it,
coming out,
honestly,
so-
it took
and then, I
me.
guess,
It took me
gonna be,
probably 10 to 12 minutes to figure out who he was because he's just sitting in here bullshitting with us.
Right.
And at some point, I looked at him because he's a little bit older than his promo photos, and I was like, "Dude, that's Paul."
It hit.
Yeah.
Yeah, I get it.
But he hung out here and smoked with us. Like, he was amazing.
Yeah. Yeah. I heard he's awesome.
I wouldn't have
yeah,
recognized
he
him.
was funny.
God, this is good. And you guys, I'm a proof pussy, but that George T. Stagg, I mean,
It's one of the best
that
out
makes
there.
me want to like grab. Do you know? Was the George T. Stagg like the awesome, like where I've heard it's a stratospheric year where it's just so good? Was that 2021?
22.
22.
But the 24 is competitive with the 22.
Really?
Which
Yeah.
is what you're drinking now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
And I just stumbled
I
upon
feel
it.
guilty having some of it, but God, it's so good.
Don't
with
feel
this,
guilty.
too.
Yeah, there's certain whiskeys out there. Michter's 25,
Yeah.
the George T. Stagg, William LaRue Weller, like the actual WLW. Just a handful of whiskeys out there that are in a different category.
There's that mash bill from, which one is it? That blue bottle that you got me?
The
The blue bottle.
The Fortuna?
Fortuna. There
Oh,
we go.
yeah, yeah.
That
The
sour
Fortuna
mash?
barrel proof? Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, that thing's good too. It stands up.
We have some.
It's similar to this.
Oh, it's in here.
Yeah,
Yeah,
the
yeah, I
bottle-
have
the
some.
bottle- the
I
bottle's there.
actually have some of that Fortuna if you want to try it. I
I've
kept it
never
in here
had
just
it
for you.
before.
Yeah, yeah.
I never had it before. And by the way, that Crossroads, that guy, if that's one that you just want to kind of sell to patron, I'm not offended, but it was, I wanted you guys to try it because there's that Blue Note that's like 63%, 128 to 26 proof. And I thought it was good, right? But this one, I was like, it's a little less proof, and I was like, God, it's really easy drink, and it's still, I thought, high enough proof where you guys wouldn't laugh.
Well,
at
it's
me, but-
also the French oak. Like, I adore French oak.
Yeah.
It gives a structure to whiskey that you don't get
yeah,
otherwise.
and that's why you like the Penelope Architect.
Yeah.
But we're not total proof whores. Like we drink some low proof stuff. I have
Yeah.
a 12-year back there that's 97.5 proof. And that's 1792.
Yeah.
Really good. I
Yeah.
enjoy it by itself. And then there's a couple others that we drink, but
Well, and like the Michter stuff is barrel proof, but their barrel entry is lower than everybody else's. So their barrel proof is going to be 105, 106.
Yeah.
And their stuff, like their really well aged stuff, is phenomenal.
Yep. Well, and right before I left, I did it again. I did a little side by side. I did 1 ounce each of Blanton's Gold and Blanton's Green Label. And now that they've been open a while, and I've had them open each for 2 or 3 months, because I sent you guys pictures when I got them. Dude, it's really hard for me to pick between those two, but I would have loved to have brought you guys one of those green labels, but I can't find them anymore. It's just
some of the stuff is hard to find. Like
I
I'm
mean, I've-
surprised I found this.
In this market, we never see the Blanton's international releases ever.
Yeah.
Yeah, because the green is the international.
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't. I guess I
I
didn't
wonder
know
if
that.
I would be able to find them out here.
Yeah.
You might. I mean, if like your best bet for stuff like that is airports, is the duty free shops.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, that's where I was. You were over there, and I don't know if you heard. That's where I got my Redbreast 27.
Yeah.
Man, and I had when I was in Dublin, I had a Redbreast 26 and a 21, and that was some of the best whiskey I've ever had. And I know you guys, if I remember right, you guys don't really like Blue Label, Johnny Walker Blue Label, but I had Johnny Walker Blue Label for the first time
It's
about a
not-
year ago, and I
it's
was
not
like,
bad.
dude, it's so good.
I don't have any problem with Blue Label until they start putting allocated prices on
Yeah.
it.
Yep.
But for like the standard line item price, it's very good.
I found it one time for 139, and I bought 4 bottles.
Have
Yeah.
you stumbled into any barrel picks yet? Have you tried any?
Yeah, the Elijah Craig, that little place I was telling you about near where I went
Cigar.
for that allocation that one morning, and I got there at 9:55. In Texas they open at 10 a.m. I got there at 9:55, and I was 30 people deep. I mean,
Okay.
the 10s, the Pappy 10, 12, and 15, they had 3 each of them, all gone. I didn't even get close, but they were there. The guy that was first in line got there at 4:30 a.m.
Yeah.
It was just,
Yeah.
but
I mean, I like Pappy, but I will take that
yeah.
over Pappy all day
And
long.
I will say so you remember when I went to that tasting, they had it's the 10, the 12, the 13, the 15. That's what was part of it, and then another.
The
another
20
one.
and the
There was 5.
25.
And then
20,
the 20
23.
and the 23 were extra payments. And I really liked the 23. I was not a huge fan of the 20, but the best one I had of the night where I'm like, okay, I would throw down the extra money for that was the 15.
Yeah, that's almost uniformly.
Which makes me want to find the Russell's 15. And I
The
just-
Russell's 15 was almost everybody's number one bourbon
I
this
know.
year.
And which makes me, I don't like when stuff is so popular, it makes every list of everything. I'm like, ugh.
Yeah.
But when you say it's legit, I'm like, okay, but it's like it seems like that 15-year one, the Calumet Stables or whatever it is. It's called, like, they have that small batch, which is a mix of 8 and 15, and that's why I like that better than the 16.
Yeah.
Or the 15 all by itself. But it seems like for me, that sweet spot of age seems to be that 13 to 15. Now they had, I was curious your opinion of this. The Pappy 13 they had as the drink to go with dessert.
Well, the 13 is a rye.
That's why. Okay, I didn't realize it was a rye.
Yeah, the 13 year is the Family Reserve rye.
Yeah. But yeah, if I was gonna buy one,
By the
and
way,
just,
so Christian.
yes, sir.
Oh, I didn't. Well, I thought there was a break in the conversation, so I figured I'd interject real quick.
Yeah.
So there's multiple Marriotts in Siem Reap.
Oh.
There's the Marriott, which is I forgot I've been there. So it's the Marriott Siem Reap Resort, which is fantastic. And then there's the Rithi Ryan Encore Residence, which is
Yep.
also awesome. And then there's the La Meridian, which is an amazing
Ooh, I
hotel.
love La Meridians.
So yeah, there's a bunch of them here.
Uh,
So
Coming soon to Siem Reap.
me too.
JW Marriott.
I just think
Yeah,
you guys
just figured
have
I'd let you know that.
you guys have such a great operation going on here. It's just
Did you notice the different layout from last time you were here? We just did this like a week ago.
yeah. Well, you used to be over there in the
Yes,
corner.
the counter was here.
Yes, and the counter was over here, and it just flows in because you come in the door. It's right there by the left.
What I really like, I didn't think I would like it this much, but the booths in the window give the shop a little bit of privacy, which is really nice.
Yeah. And I like the high top. To me, high tops are always inviting. They always like, hey, come in and socialize with us. And you have the high tops in the window. Last night we were here. We stopped in after she had won, and we came over here, and I just popped in to see if you were still here, but it was like 12:30 and you were gone. But I just looked in and I was like, damn, I like the layout. It's just really inviting. So, yep, I'm a fan.
If you would have seen the cigar shop, Christian, when
Sir.
it was owned by Blythe,
It
Yep.
looked like a swap meet.
I think you would.
Hey, there's pictures online.
There's
There's
pictures
still,
of
we
it.
can't get rid of them.
Yeah.
literally looked like a fucking swap.
Yeah, he had like cabinets all through here with knickknacks, like
Oh, yeah.
off-brand knickknacks.
Memorabilia.
The jerseys over there.
Fake
the counter,
jerseys.
Counter was over there, but then he had like all kinds of other stuff that was just
I felt so bad when people would buy those jerseys.
yeah. I got a sweater from him, but I didn't have to pay for it. So
Yeah.
I mean, and I still wear that sweater. It's a nice
it
one.
wasn't bad when I was selling them.
Hey, Kevin, some of the military patches, and yeah, they're all patches, not necessarily medals. Oh, there's some
There's some pins
emblems
there.
right there. There's some. I'm looking. This is some Air Force wings, and
Majority of those are
that's
his.
all Army right there.
So, this one is people that came through, or people that we know.
Yep.
These two are historical boxes. My uncle gave them to me.
Yep.
So, the full one is World War II. The other one is Korean Vietnam.
Yeah.
And then the top row of the World War II box,
Yep.
those aren't real units. Those were Patton's ghost units.
Really.
Yeah, before D-Day.
Wow.
That was the other beach.
Holy crap! I need to take a picture of those because a
And-
couple of my buddies from West Point would be interested.
You
in
might-
seeing
So,
those.
my grandfather's patches are in World War II. The support beret for 5th Group is my brother's.
Yep.
And then my uncle's actual Vietnam 5th Group pin is in the box.
Yeah. Wow.
And then I just have, the black horse patch up there.
Yes, Kevin's Black Horse badge.
Yep.
Just a
Oh.
pony.
Wait, where?
It's that gray, black, that dark gray and light gray one
Bottom row, dead center.
with the
Yep.
horse in the
Oh,
middle.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Yep. That light is glaring right.
Yeah.
Where I can see it, but
It's the sad one.
yeah, Cam, when you're here, this is pretty spectacular.
And then we have a bunch of police officers, and we
All
had
of-
some firefighters come in.
All
Yep.
of the law enforcement guys have been here. Those are all from
Yeah.
people that hung out.
Yep. At that Pappy tasting, there was a fire chief that was there for. Yeah, he was Dallas's fire chief, retired fire chief. So he was there for 22 years, and he gave me a coin when he had found out I'd gone to the academy, and I was like, "Shit, I wish I had something to give you, but I don't." But yeah.
No, it's fine. We're not worried about it.
Yeah. Cam, when you come through, you're going to. This is pretty outstanding. Now, I have a question. So, when you get close to the upper label,
Yeah,
you
you pull
tear
that
that
off.
off, right?
Yep.
this is when it's about done, right?
I can tell you where I smoke to. I smoke until the nub, pretty much. If it's a good enough
Really?
cigar,
Wow.
I'll smoke until it's right about there.
If I like it, I will smoke it until it's hot to the tongue,
Okay.
and then I'm done.
Yeah.
Usually that's when you know it's done. Yeah, most like
This is still awesome.
most of the flavored ones and most of like the misted ones, the ones that have alcohol in them, they burn really hot to begin with.
Yeah.
Who else from like our audience needs to come in and say hi and visit in person other than Cam?
Everybody that's in the chat, hopefully.
I
but-
mean, Janot knows he's welcome whenever he wants.
yeah, he's down in Santa Barbara right
I
now.
think Josephus knows that too.
Yeah, Josephus.
I don't
come
know
on.
if we put you on the podcast right away. We'd have
No,
to
no, I got a
vet
button.
you a
I
little
got a
bit.
button for him. It's right here.
You'd have to hold it down when he's talking. Yeah. You would need to hold it down.
This might not be able to do it actually live, left or pre-record with Josephus.
Right? His is a pre-recorded
Him and
one.
I together talking is probably going to lead to. It's going to be really gnarly.
Yeah, we might lose viewers on that one.
I am looking at the YouTube feed and I look pretty good on camera. Maybe I should do porn.
I tell myself the same thing.
I just
Oh
to
my
say.
God.
Okay, I could do porn.
Drastically cut the cam real quick and be like, here's someone who shouldn't.
For all we know, Cameron has done porn.
Probably-
He's
probably in the
outside
cam.
now. Look at that. You finally moved outside, and we could see you. The view. We saw you better when it was the wall as the background, but
Hey, I'm glad to see you can get turtle wax out there, though.
Casey firing shots.
How many channels do you get
Oh,
off
man.
that dish on your head? What is that?
Like I said. Oh man. Well, I don't have the bush pilot hat on today.
I was gonna say,
Hey.
does this make him look more or less like a bush pilot?
yeah, it's about the same.
Honestly,
almost.
now you look like an Australian construction
Oh,
worker.
we lost the camera.
It's probably number one because we're at like 2 hours,
Yeah.
15 minutes.
Oh, I'm sorry. I know you guys usually cut it off.
It's my camera.
Oh,
we
it's your
lost.
camera, yeah.
Yeah, it's that big Sony.
Yeah, the big
Yeah.
Sony eats the battery.
Yeah.
Yeah, it does.
Although that means the little Sony's right behind it.
Yeah.
That's right.
Well, let's call it and reset for the reviews.
So yours just died, I think, because I'm on number one.
No, battery just depleted itself.
Yeah. All right.
That just leaves me. Look at that.
Kevin,
Only
take
one
us
last
out, would
thing.
you?
Hey guys, if you made it this far and you're listening to Casey's bullshit over here, go ahead and do the YouTube stuff, and we'll catch you on the next video.